All right, special North Smithfield Town Council meeting, June 22nd, 2022. Madam Pledge, can you start us with the prayer and pledge, please?
Thank you for bringing us together today in a spirit of generosity. May we honor one another by keeping an open mind. May we voice our truth and listen with an open heart. May we discern your will to unite in a fruitful outcome. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mr. Biragad.
Here.
Mr. Christopherow.
Here.
Mrs. O'Hara. Yes. Mr. Punchak.
Here.
Ms. Alves.
Here. Discussion by council vote or other action on FY 26-27 budget. So I guess we'll do like we've done in the past. We just take by department and take the budget committee, and if there's any discussion, if not, we'll see if there's a vote. And go
Yep,
that
so
way.
the town council budget columns are reflective of the budget committee's columns, minus a few small changes, which are highlighted in yellow, which you guys can see it. As we go along, I'll lay them out and make sure you guys are aware of them. Yeah, so anytime we go through a department, once the council agrees upon that department's underlying number, you guys will put a vote to it and move on to the next. And address the department head if they're here, if they want to talk about it.
Okay. All right. Sound good?
Is you gonna keep a running tally of where we're at?
Yeah, it's automatic. As soon as I change a number, it changes the levy.
Okay.
So,
All right.
Starting with revenue?
I think we do.
so we're going to start with expenses.
Yeah, we're gonna do revenues last, right?
Yes, yeah.
And this is the expenditure detail form.
This is the detailed version.
So
It
should we be following, what does everybody want to follow? The expense budget summary or the detail?
Well, we'll be doing the summary unless someone wants to jump
Okay.
into the detail to change a line or,
But I'll have up on the screen the detail for all the
Okay.
people who are watching. And
okay.
My God.
All right. All right, town council. Anyone have any changes or like to make a motion to reflect the budget committee's proposal of $96,545.09?
Why is our number different here?
So, yep, so that's the $5,000. So Pumpkin Fest, they just finished moving over to the group. They just moved over to a yeah, Athletic Association. Thank you. They just moved over to them, and they didn't have the chance to submit their request for funds earlier in the year during the budget process, so they just got it to me. So that's reflective of $3,500 now to $5,000 because now they're operating completely on their own. And have to get their own insurance, and they have to use their own staff to do the accounting and everything. So that's the reason for the $1,500 increase.
So prior, they were under the trust?
They were under,
The
yeah, they were
town.
under the trust, they were under us, but now getting them out of the town allows them to open themselves to other revenue streams. It doesn't lock them down for certain purchasing procedures that we have as the municipality, so just makes it a little easier on them.
Okay, so the revised budget is $98,045.09.
Even though last year's actual was $72,640.
So so the way I do it is, obviously, as you can see on the detail side, you'll see there's a lot of different entities that will put in for requests for money. If they don't send me a email or an invoice or anything throughout the fiscal year, I don't send them the money.
Well, I think we're also seeing a significant increase in town council contributions year over year because the senior services are now asking for $45,000 in comparison to $20,000 for last year. So I'd like to talk a little bit about why we have a $25,000 increase there.
So the other 20,000 was in reserves. So it wasn't,
Okay.
it was always 40.
was
It's been
always
40 since I've been here, at least. But
Okay.
it was split, that's why we want to get away from these reserves and things, makes things look a
Gotcha.
little funky. It was 40 last year, and it was 40 the year before that, so the $20,000 was spent out of reserves. It's already been spent.
Okay, but wasn't necessarily reflected in last year's amount, that's why we're seeing that.
Yeah.
Okay. The $5,000 increase then, if it was 40,000 last year for senior services and now it's 45, what's the $5,000 increase for, do we know?
I think it's just for them being able to run on their own in the staffing and Linda's time. They have a lot more trainers and stuff than they had prior. I'm trying to ramp up the services.
Okay, I know that we talked a bit about 501c3 and grants, how's that going in?
They're in the process looking for attorney getting 501c3. They are a Rhode Island corporation now, fully incorporated. So now, instead of being passed through all the expenses to us, now provide the stipend to them, and manage their own work, and manage their own staff.
Okay,
So the 501c3 is in the process of our lawyer, or their lawyer, I should say.
okay. So that extra 5,000 we think is supposed to cover headcount and some other numbers that we don't
Supplies.
necessarily have a.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, because they continue to buy more supplies and stuff for all the classes that they have and all the activities.
I think it would be helpful, similar to how other departments provide an understanding of their justification for an increase, to have an understanding as the senior program continues to grow, what they're asking for and why. Like a $5,000 increase, it's not a lot, but it's not a little, especially when we're trying to be conservative with this budget. We also don't have data, right? We have data to a degree, but we haven't enabled the actual data, the badge swipe to really have an oh, we have?
It's now operating.
Okay, excellent, but it's now operational.
That's right.
Okay, so as of recently.
But they have been providing us actual data,
Okay.
but it's handwritten data.
Yeah. Okay,
They have sign-in sheets, and everybody participates in the program.
okay. So we're gonna increase that 5,000, okay.
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the budget for the town council, of $98,045.09.
That's a motion, is there a second? Second. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Biragad.
Yes.
Mr. Christopherow.
Yes,
Mrs. O'Hara.
Yes.
Mr. Punchak.
Yes.
Ms. Alves.
Yes. Probate court, the budget committee's recommendation is $10,725. Anyone have any discussion or like to make a motion?
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion to approve $10,725 for the probate court.
That's a motion, is there a second? Second. Any further discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Biragad.
Yes.
Mr. Christopherow.
yes,
Mrs. O'Hara. Yes. Mr. Punchak.
Yes.
Ms. Alves.
Yes. Total legal, the budget committee's recommendation is in the amount of $177,400.04. Any discussion or motion?
Discussion?
Go ahead.
Why the $20,000 difference?
I just want to just make sure council understands, based on the conversations we've had in executive session on a variety of issues, that, you know, we do have some issues that could fall into the category of professional services legal.
So it's not like it's spent. If it's not spent, it goes back into the fund?
That is correct.
Okay.
But the argument always is, if you don't need it, then don't levy the taxpayers. I'm just cautioning the council to be conservative.
Yeah, especially if last year was 297, it's a $100,000 issue right there. $120,000 issue right there.
Madam President,
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the administrator's proposal on the legal for $197,000, $197,400.04.
That's a motion, is there a second?
Second for discussion,
Go ahead.
is it worth, well, maybe we can come back to it, but looking at that much of a discrepancy, you know, if we're being told we have some potential issues and we're, you know, already 120,000 under for this previous year, are our potential issues similar to what we've been through in the past year?
I would think so.
All right, so I seconded it, I'll go with it, but we can always come back, right?
mhm.
All right,
Yeah.
I would definitely second look that one.
So we have a motion and a second for 177.
197, 400.
197, 400, okay. Any further discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Biragad.
Yes.
Mr. Christopherow.
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara. Mr. Punchak.
Yes.
Ms. Alves.
Yes. Municipal Court, the Budget Committee's recommendation is for $54,989.55. Does anyone have any discussion or a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the Budget Committee's proposal of $54,989.55.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Biragad.
Yes.
Mr. Christopherow.
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara. Mr. Punchak.
Yes.
Ms. Alves.
Yes. Total administration, Budget Committee recommendation is $243,026.22. Is there any discussion or motion?
I would, if there's no discussion, I'll make a motion to approve the Budget Committee's recommendation of $243,026.22.
If I could just, I concur with the Budget Committee's recommendation, but in full transparency, as it relates to automobile fuel, I don't use the town's car and I pay for my own fuel. I want the town council to understand that. I don't use town fuel. That's why it's low compared to what we budget.
Thank you.
That's a company man right there.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Did we have a second?
Did we have a second?
No.
We did
Second.
not have a second.
Sorry. Now Rebecca seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Biragad.
Yes.
Mr. Christopherow.
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara. Mr. Punchak.
Yes.
Ms. Alves.
Yes. Town Clerk, Budget Committee's recommendation is $346,952.40.
Can we jump into the expenditure detail on the town clerk's office department, please?
Go ahead.
Okay. Can I talk about deputy clerk while Tammy's in the room? I know that that the deputy clerk is looking for a 5% compared to the TA 3%, and I know that Tammy especially, given that we've had a few folks out for a number of months now, has done an amazing job, at least in my eyes, and I was wondering if we could go with the deputy clerk's request of 5% over the TA 3%, with the understanding that the 5% is maybe a little shy of $2,000 more a year.
Is there page 2 on that?
So the
Yeah.
department's asking for $60,561 in comparison to the budget committee's proposal of $59,408. So what does that math factor out to be? I don't like doing math on the spot. $1,100.
I'm just gonna voice my opinion on it until we have some sort of, what do you call it? Like reviews, or we have, some sort of, thank you, that we wanna do throughout the communities to just spot pick positions and give. I think it's just really hard to spot pick certain positions and give them a higher increase than others. Because I'm sure in every position, and yes, Tammy has really stepped forward, I just said that to her before the meeting, with Joanne being out, but then.
As well as Tiffany.
Right, and then we have other positions that are also looking for higher percentages, so it just makes it a little bit difficult to pick and choose who, until we can do some sort of rating or have the survey completed, it just makes it difficult to do that.
Not to speak against the request, because I would love to give more money for everybody. The deputy clerk is getting paid at the clerk's position right now, so she is receiving the clerk's compensation.
Mhm.
That's good to know.
Obviously, I can't take part in this, right?
I wouldn't.
Well, I can understand, Kim, your feedback there. I know that it's not necessarily fair for us to just pick and choose. And Tammy, I would give you more money than 5% if it was within my jurisdiction. But I can understand that feedback, so I will obviously defer to the majority here. The other item that I want to look at is the software and licenses for the HayGov clerk minutes. So the budget committee recommended that they use free options like ChatGPT. I think that we should stick with the technology that we currently have if the clerk's office has been working with it and they feel as though that's the better one to use. So I think that we should align with the, for that line item, the department budget request, or the administrator budget request too, since you recommended that.
And we are, in reference to requests from the budget committee, are going to do this year a full review of all software.
Perfect.
And be able to report back well before the budget process begins. However, I think and I'm not saying this is what the budget committee's doing, we have to be very careful not to get romanced by the shiny new item called AI.
Mhm.
It's way too early for this.
Yeah.
Except in some very, very low-end applications. I've been doing a lot of research on that, and we're still in very early stages of where we can really capitalize on that as a technology.
So the HayGov clerk minutes, that is not AI. That is just a technology that the clerk's office uses? Is that AI? It is AI, okay. Either way.
But there's a discussion about expansion of AI as a way to save money. That's the point I'm trying to make. I think we're way too early in the evolution of that technology to start
Agreed.
capitalizing on it.
Okay, so of those items, I'll make the recommendation to accept the department's budget request for that specific software and license line in the amount of $1,247.40.
So I can provide you the new department total when you guys are ready.
Well,
You-
wouldn't we really be looking at the budget committee plus that technology?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a bigger.
No, I'm saying specific to that line item.
Anyone have any other, did you have anything else?
No.
Anyone else have any other?
So just a question then, so, because this I am allowed to speak, because it's generally speaking, but so you're saying that we keep the requested software that they're asking for?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, keep the HayGov clerk minutes as opposed to leveraging the free option of ChatGPT.
Okay.
One other question, sorry, advertising town clerk, the department and the administrator proposed a $7,000 budget in comparison to the budget committee's proposal of $4,000. What's the logic there? So that $3,000 gap? It says general code updates, revisions, licenses, town council requests, budget committee historical.
Look at the past expense.
Can I, for the budget committee, was that one of the software applications that we're getting a state reimbursement on? Because I know you were netting stuff out in the budget to reflect incoming revenue from the state. Yeah, it doesn't. This one doesn't reflect that. Okay.
They're just looking at historicals.
Okay,
Yeah, definitely.
okay, thank you.
Anyone have anything else? Tony, you want to give us the new number?
Sure. Total for the town clerk is $348,199.80.
348, I thought we were,
Yeah.
I thought we were talking a much, yeah,
It's just 1,200 that we,
Yeah, how can it be such a discrepancy?
It went from
If we
three-
put 124740 back in,
what was
is
it?
that not the right number?
It went from
clerk?
346 to 348.
Yeah.
1,200.
Oh, I'm looking at the 336, that's why.
Oh. So the new number is 348. Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the town clerk's budget in the amount of $348,199.80. That's really hard to read. Tony? Yeah, you do have a lot of columns.
Second,
That's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Biragad.
Yes.
Mr. Christopherow.
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara. Mr. Punchak.
yes.
Ms. Alves.
Yes. Planning Department, the Budget Committee's recommendation is $222,057.93. Does anyone have any recommendations or motion?
This is the area where I believe the Budget Committee is netting out the revenue coming in from the state. Is that correct? Yeah, it's the open gov. My only concern on this is on the approach. I used to run on this in my old organization. I didn't net revenues against expenses. I felt that it didn't provide the full transparency on the budget. My concern is that if we're netting this out on the software and all of a sudden the state rolls back its financial commitment to OpenGov but are still requiring us to use it, all of a sudden we're showing nothing or very little in the budget. Now it's going to be in the budget. So it's being shown on the revenue side, but it should be shown, in my opinion, full expense on the expense side.
Isn't that how we always used to do it?
No, it's just relatively new. It's, last year, it was kind of up in the air, or the fiscal year that we're in right now, was very up in the air on whether we were going to get the reimbursement back, so we expensed it, and then we ended up getting the reimbursement back. It'd be very easy for me to just toss in the number here, and then just add that on the revenue side as a reimbursement.
Probably
If
be
that's what you
safe
guys-
bet, right?
Yeah.
Again, I'm not criticizing the Budget Committee on that. I'm just saying from a transparency standpoint, it's great to see it on both sides, especially if we lose it on the revenue side.
So then that number would need to be adjusted to $5,747.43, as opposed to the town council budget number that's there now of $400? Okay,
And then when you go through the revenue budget, it's going to show up over there.
okay. I'm gonna need my telescope.
I'll get you a binocular.
Is that 227, 405?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So Tony, this 5,400 won't count towards the levy, you're saying, it will show up on the revenue?
I put it under miscellaneous receipts.
So what is the total?
$227,405.36.
Anybody like to make a motion?
I didn't hear it. 227.
$227,405.36.
I'll make a motion to approve the planning department's budget in the amount of $227,000 and I can't do numbers tonight, sorry, everybody. $227,405.36.
Second,
That's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Biragad.
Yes.
Mr. Christopherow.
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara.
Yes.
Mr. Punchak.
yes.
Ms. Alves.
Yes.
David, I'm gonna leave the number motions to you, okay?
We can do it. Board of Canvassers, Budget Committee's recommendation is $49,778.54. Does anyone have any changes or like to make a motion?
I'll make go ahead.
So again, the past 3 years, $13,243, $23,123, $22,715, with double their biggest expense.
Is it because of the election?
Yeah.
Correct.
Didn't we have an election in 2024 at 22,000?
Mm-hmm. Tammy, did we have an election?
We had a February election.
True.
And it also adds in there for this fiscal year, the just in case there's a special election, in which Tammy provided me the figures for that of what that would be. The budget committee's idea was to take that dollar amount, was around 13 grand, and use that as fund balance instead of levying it and charging the taxpayers of that cost of a potential special election. I put that in as use of fund balance on the revenue side, so it nets out. All we're paying for is, yeah, it doesn't net the levy. All we're paying for is just the two that we have coming up. Two, right?
Maybe we can come back to that and bump a little bit of money
Yeah.
up to the lawyers for next year.
Yeah, I agree with that approach, but one thing I'm going to emphasize, because this surfaces in a couple of the areas, we have to be very careful using fund balance to fund operating cost. The bond underwriters, rating agencies do not like seeing that. It's one thing using fund balance for a project. It's another thing using a fund balance for expenses that you would typically expect to see in an operating year. So I have to be very careful how we do that. When we went to the conversation, this issue, the question is typically, and Tammy, correct me if I'm wrong, the clerk would always budget for an extra election for whatever reason something could surface. I die in office, and you have to have a special election. Quit smiling. You know, but we felt that that was kind of levying the taxpayers for a what-if scenario was pushing a little bit too far.
But even at that, you could cut it down $20,000 and you're still above anything you've spent with a special election this year and a full election 2 years ago, so. I'll make the motion to go with it for now, but I think, it deserves a second look, so I will make a motion, unless there's any more discussion, for the Board of Canvassers amount in $49,778.54.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Biragad.
Yes.
Mr. Christopherow.
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara. Mr. Punchak.
Yes.
Ms. Alves.
Yes. Finance. Budget Committee's recommendation of $784,849.34. Anyone like to make a motion or have any discussion?
I have a question. Administrator, was there some people who you're going to be moving around? Is that reflected in finance?
Yeah, it is.
Oh.
That it's reflected here, and it's also reflected on the assessor's budget category.
And that's the 65, the staff accountant, new position.
Yeah.
So that staff accountant, I'm just looking at it versus the assistant finance director. What is this person going to be doing again?
So she's going to be assisting with a lot of the reconciliations. A lot of her focus, there's going to be two major things, which is fully taking on the administrative portion of police detail, which we've really fully adopted that back, and then grants management in terms of the accountant side, making sure all of them are being tracked properly. We can get a snapshot of, funds available, project progress, all that.
Yeah, currently, the way the town manages and accounts for grants is not very good. We need to really up our game in that area. We don't have a definitive proposal as it relates to the budget in front of you, but we will discuss it as it relates to the contingency category, which the Budget Committee eliminated. We need it, but we need to have the software systems in place so that we can account for all of the grants which are escalating in this town, coupled with the fact to make sure that that person's also going to be documenting all the various reports that we have to comply with to pursuant to the grant agreements. It's a pretty heavy lift. So between that, the police detail work and other back work that to support the department, and also just as a sidebar, the individual who is going to be moving over there will be get her degree in counting this year.
So how is that not a union position?
It doesn't have to. It isn't. It doesn't have to be. It could be the union. I'm sure they would like it to be, but it doesn't have to be in any. It's not a clerk. It's a staff accountant.
I think my only question here is, in the event that we do approve this new position, and it sounds like we're moving people around, we will then have to backfill a position. So do we need to have those conversations in tandem? Because if we approve it here and we don't approve the position over in the tax assessor's office, what does that mean? And my next question is this. This position, it's the staff accountant, like this person cannot maintain the tax assessor office as well as this finance role moving forward? Like, will the bandwidth of this
Yeah.
staff accountant role change where she couldn't support both?
Yeah, Jen's currently picking up a lot of the slack, a lot more than she can probably handle in her bandwidth because of Sabina's position in as the deputy assessor / helping us in
Okay.
finance.
Okay.
So, yeah, it comes down to bandwidth, just like you said. Yeah.
Okay.
Wouldn't we still have to post for this position?
For
Like-
the no, we can, it's a appointed position. You could, I mean, there's no regulations around, other than obviously Rhode Island labor laws. There's no, the union has no say on it. There's no stipulations on how
No,
we
but I
post
mean,
it.
just like hiring a position in general, don't you have to post for it? I mean.
Not for a non-union.
If it was a position that pre-existed as part of the union bargaining unit, then yes, we would. This is a new position, and it's an appointed position, just like quite a few other positions in the administration are appointed, not union.
How do you overcome the argument that this position is being created for this person?
Right, that's what I'm saying, because they already have a name to this position. That's what's scaring
Yeah.
me is.
Like, how do you, like, I don't know, to me, that's, well, one of the first questions that I thought, but why wouldn't anyone else? Kim came to the same conclusion, so like to just,
Sabina comes with a lot of institutional knowledge. She used to work at Woonsocket in collections and in assessing. She comes here, she has an IT background, so we, you know, as you know, me and Jerry Ann oversee that as well. That's a huge help. She has a degree in that. There's a lot of, she knows the town already pretty well. She's already helped in building and zoning. She helps in finance. She helps in assessing. Sure, it might be.
all valid points, but again, the optics are
We-
a little cloudy, I think.
We obviously encourage this transition from, I get what you're saying.
All businesses do that. If
As
they
an
can hire from
administration,
within, but,
When
you
we
know,
have somebody that we've already worked with, that has proven capabilities, and as opposed to hiring somebody new that is untested, I'll go this way any day of the week because it's just better for the organization, better for the town.
I think to the administrator's point, he's running the show up there. He's there every day. If he wants to move the chess pieces around to see what's better going to serve the public and what's better going to make the job more efficient for him and the finance department, that's his call, if you ask me.
Just some background too on this, and Jen can attest to this because we kind of stole Sabina while she was working in the tax assessor's office. When we ran into the issue of the detail work, we bought Sabina up to figure it out. And she, on Jim's department's nickel, solved the problems. That's when we were saying, my God, I mean, this person has an analytical capability to solve problems. That's what she's really good. She's by far the best in, sorry to all my team, the best in the administration, by far.
But legally. it's a
Legally,
legal
we can
question.
do this.
Legally, we can do this.
Absolutely.
Optically, we don't feel comfortable with it.
I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
It's not our
Well, I mean-
decision. We're deciding
Okay.
whether or not to, fund the position, so.
Yeah.
Does it matter to me? It's not
So-
my decision. All of my decision is whether or not we fund the position that's being proposed.
So is this the deputy clerk that we're talking about?
No staff account.
It would be
Oh.
So now, is I know I'm moving ahead, but I just want to ask the question while we're talking about this. So that person's going to part-time now?
Well, that's the budget committee's recommendation.
Yeah, you want to talk about it? Because this is kind of, it just doesn't make sense to me now.
So, like, Scott and Tony have said, it started off how Tony came to me and asked if she could help out with police detail. It was coming from the police department back to town hall. And then it became a bigger project than we expected. So she started doing a lot of more finance. And then that's where this position came about. But I think the budget committee proposal was to cut it to part-time. And I think they misunderstood that this is a new position in finance, and I still need a full-time deputy in assessing. Because it's only me and a deputy. There's nobody else. So if it's part-time and say I'm out or I'm in a meeting, we have a lot of taxpayers that come in, and if the office is closed, so it's good, like collection helps out a lot, they'll help us out, if we both have to be in a meeting, but I think the budget committee thought that was gonna be a new position and they would still be helping assessing, so I could get a part-time person, or they thought maybe I could just handle it with just a part-time person. But it's always been a full-time position, so I'm not sure why it was proposed to part-time.
So now it's just you and a deputy? What did you have, like, going back a year or two? Didn't you have more people than that in tax assessor?
No, it's always been two.
Just two?
Yeah. MJ and Rachel in tax collection, they would help us out, and then in turn.
Oh, so they're
we
in
would-
tax, okay. all
Yeah.
right.
So
Okay,
we're two separate, but we help each other out.
okay. Does anyone have any other questions for the tax assessor? Thank you, Jen.
Thank you.
So in theory, if we were to keep the full-time deputy role in the assessor's office at 55,000, as opposed to the 27,000 for part-time, and then create the new position of the staff accountant for 65,000. We're adding 65,000 to our budget, right?
Pretty much, because if she can't go with a part-timer, which doesn't make sense.
No, I don't think it makes sense either. No.
Just remember, it will add full benefits by going
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
that's like a.
So it's just salary, and then you got the PTB that follows with it, so.
How much do we, on average, collect in details?
We collected $178,000 last year, I think. But was that a bit of an anomaly for detail last year?
Because of the highway?
It's because of the highway project.
So what's like an average year?
It's been so long since we had an average year.
Yeah.
I think, 20 to 40,000.
Biweekly payroll, we're putting $30,000 to $40,000 just for the payroll portion of a police detail every single pay period. So 30 to 40,000 times 26 pay periods is how much police detail volume there is. So it's a big number. And if we weren't to get this position in finance, like we took back police details from, it was in the police department, it's in the finance department. If we don't get this person, we don't know who's going to do it, because the segregation of duties, I can't do it because I'm reconciling. Tony can't do it because he's approving all of that stuff. We don't have, the payroll clerk and the payables clerk doesn't have the time, because I asked Sabina how much of her time she's spending on that. She estimated about 40% of her time right now. So I don't know where that task would land or who has the bandwidth to do it.
Jerry Ann, can you explain a little bit briefly this whole concept of separation of duties?
Sure. The auditors look for, like, because I'm the one reconciling the bank account to our general ledger system, I can't also be the one handling the money, making the deposits, or entering them into our system. Because if I were to do all pieces of it, who else is second and like checking what I'm doing? So that's why Tony and I can't do those types of jobs. So we need someone else to do it. Yeah, checks and balances.
Sounds like we need it.
We do need it. I'm just wondering at that dollar rate, at that amount though, because your clerks are at one rate and then that one is pretty high.
So, well, then does it make sense to look at what was that position making previously?
What?
So if we look at what that, not the staff accountant position, because that's a new position. So if we look at what that position and the tax assessor's office was previously making last fiscal year, right, 2025, and then add a 3% on that. Right, so they're just getting the 3% increase to their existing salary.
I just want to caution, let's make this conversation as generic as we can.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about a person.
Yeah.
So we have to be very careful.
Yep, I'm just saying.
The deputy position for the department request is at 55,000, so.
No, I know, but what was it previously?
Prior. Give me 1 second.
Oh, so the TA is recommending
3%.
a 3%, so 55,167. So I would say that we carry that number over to the staff accountant role for the finance department at $55,167.77. Right, yes.
I think that's fair because it's in between the fiscal clerk and your assistant, so.
There's another aspect too. It's a free market. If she, what is she worth to somebody else? Like, we could lose if you don't pay your staff. If she's that good, if she's that much of a rock star, then you're gonna lose her if you don't pay her.
I 100% agree with you, John, but we don't have a job requisition. We don't have an understanding of, a job description, a job requisition, so we can't necessarily put a figure on the role. They're making this role up because they have a need. So similar to how I wanted to give our deputy clerk an increase, a $10,000 increase from one role to the next, I think that if we want to talk about fairness, it's a 3% increase on the existing salary. Because we could say no, no new position, right?
Yeah, what do you have to gauge the 65 against?
Right.
I mean, because you look at what the, and that was my point, you look at what the assistant's making, and you look at what the clerk's making, and then this new position comes in at that amount.
There's, not to refute any of this, but you can't really compare the two positions from a compensation standpoint.
What two positions?
Totally different. The new staff accountant and the clerk in the assessor's office.
So I think this is why we keep going back to the question of a comp analysis for roles. It's hard for us to justify an increase above the 3% when we haven't completed a comp analysis to understand existing salaries to what these roles are making, let's say in other municipalities. So I get it, but again, we don't have a job description, right? We can't say that the role and responsibilities for the staff accountant justifies a $65,000 increase without a comprehensive analysis of the roles. So I think if I would be most comfortable with the 55, with the 3% increase on the existing salary.
If it helps, I attempted, all municipalities are so incredibly different.
Mm-hmm.
So I did look at financial positions that were remotely close to doing something like this, not at a deputy or assistant level, but not just a straight clerk level, something in the middle. I did grab as much data as I could, and the 65,000 was kind of an average of that, if that helps you. It wasn't just a random number. I did grab as much data as I could from other communities of similar size.
Thank you, Jerry.
I guess it comes back down to what were you comparing, though, because we don't really have a job description.
Is the qualification to be like a CPA?
No.
So 4 years of education is the qualification?
Degree, well, yeah, some in accounting,
Bachelor's?
yeah.
But what are the qualifications for this job, though? Do we have a job description?
Administrator has to like you. No, I'm joking. No, it's basically somebody with accounting background. And quite frankly, again, I want to emphasize this. This wasn't a matter of us just coming out and saying, hey, you know what, we need this position. We go tap this person on the shoulder. This is somebody who has worked in that department now for a year. Now we know what she does.
There's no disputing that being
What
able
they've
to
done,
hire
yeah.
internally. Okay, so if there's no qualification for a bachelor's and you found somebody that was willing to do the job for 50,000, well, you're already ahead of the game because it's not going to take you 15,000 to train this person, right?
Theoretically.
Okay, so
The type of task this person would be doing, though, would need a bachelor's in accounting, I would.
No, you wouldn't.
I don't know that.
To
If he
to
said a
reconcile
background
accounts
in
and such?
accounting, is that going
I
to be a
mean-
stipulation?
I have 3 staff accountants on my team. None of them have degrees in accounting, and they're all very, very good.
Okay.
And my middle one probably makes that amount, and I have a top one that makes a little bit more, and I have another one that makes a little bit less than that. And that's high.
All right, so Rebecca, your suggestion was her current salary plus she gets the raise, the 3% like everybody else.
So 55, yeah.
Okay.
The position's
That's
current
fair.
salary is what we
The
need to say.
position's
The
salary, not the
position's
person.
current salary.
Yes, the position's current
plus
salary. So the
3%.
the deputy assessor, tax assessor is 55,167, I believe.
Which is what she's making now,
Yeah.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And what she's making now plus 3% raise, but like everybody else.
So we would just have to carry over the salary, yeah. So we want to change that number and have it be reflected as $55,167.77.
So can we just confirm what is accurate? Because the department budget is saying 5%, but that wage is less than what the administrator is proposing at 3%.
Yeah, I'm just laying out the correct numbers. And then 3% would be 55, 167, 77. 3% is right here. So is that the number that I'm moving up? Okay.
What is it, 55?
Hold on, give me one second. Okay. All right, and
Yeah. But when we can do that when we get to it, though.
okay. And did you want the new department total, or did you guys want to continue discussing?
Is there anything else anyone want to discuss in finance? I changed my page. So that's gonna change all the PTB and stuff, right? Like, okay. Everything else looks like that. And Tony, what's the increase in the software and licenses?
The Power School 5% increase, and the tax collection software, we pulled they provided us, QDS is the software that we use. They provided us the number for the upcoming fiscal year. They switched over last year from, what was it called? Vision to QDS. QDS acquired Vision.
So are
At
the
least that
public
section.
utilities just on a percentage increase based, or how are you doing it?
Yeah, we're doing it, I mean, yeah, go ahead.
I look at the prior year, full year usage, and then I also take however many months worth of data I have in the next year, and I kind of do that by how many months I have and divide it by 12, like to make sure I have a full year. But I also compare that just to make sure, because of seasonally, that it makes sense based on the prior year also.
Okay.
We've been, Marie, our AP, she's been doing a lot of cleaning up of the Rhode Island Energy accounts, kind of all over the place, but.
But I don't have a number for this, but when I did this budget, it was prior to the big spike we saw in gas prices. Just gonna throw that out there. But we don't really know what's gonna happen with that.
Okay. Does anyone have any other questions? Anyone like to make a motion? Do you have the new total?
Yep, so the new total for finance is $773,764.48.
I'll make a motion to approve the finance department budget in the amount of $773,764.48.
Second.
That's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Biragad.
Yes.
Mr. Christopherow.
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara. Mr. Punchak.
Yes.
Ms. Alves.
Yes. Okay, tax assessor, budget committee's recommendation is $216,543.72. Does anyone have any comments or like to make a motion?
Can I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
Administrator, there's a big gap between yourself and the budget committee. What,
That's the budget, or the position. The budget committee did not a full-time position as a replacement.
Yeah, so to replace that position back to full-time, that's non-union? So would it go back to the 55 even, or the 55,167?
So when we were proposing this to the budget committee, we didn't know how it was gonna go, if the new position was gonna be approved or not. So honestly, if we go back to full-time, we could leave the salary where it is at the 53 and change. Or you can do the 53 plus the 3% based on the TA's proposal. It's just, I would either leave it where it is or do the 3%. To get someone certified in that position as an assessor is hard with that rate, but.
So then the correct amount is the 55,167.77 for the 3% increase?
As a point of reference, just philosophical, my assistant was not given a raise last year, in part because she was brand new. So I decided it didn't make sense to give her the same raise everybody else, so she was coming in at the original role. We may want to consider that again.
Yeah, I agree. We're giving an empty chair a raise right now.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
53.
So what is the amount, 53 what?
Yeah, 53,560.
560?
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up just to be 53,560 is what it was.
So the person who's in the seat now, did they have to go through certifications and stuff to have this deputy position?
So they started, and then the last class, it conflicted with the accounting class she had to take, so she did complete one course, I believe. But the new person coming in, if they're not certified, we would have to, I believe the budget committee cut the education line also. We would have to increase the education line back up because if they don't come in with a certification, we would have to supply that education for them.
So these certifications, are they done on a regular basis, or how often are they done?
So it's hard, so they have to have so many people to have the class for it to be worth for the instructor. So it ranges, like this year we had 2, and then like a math summary class, so like basically 3 this year.
It took me
It
over a year
ranges.
and a half to finally get in one when I had started here. So-
I'm sorry?
Sorry, it took me over a year and a half to finally get into one of the classes because they never had enough people to create one. So it takes a while for them to have people actually sign up for them. It's all Rhode Island based.
So, okay, so you could potentially have a vacancy, right? So now, in order to bring on someone, if they don't have the certifications, is there stuff they can still do in your office, or are you
Yeah.
kind of at a standstill without them being certified?
No, the current deputy is not certified. She probably does 70% of what can be done.
Okay.
It's just mainly, assessing, going out, new construction, things like that, they can't complete.
Okay.
But I do that anyway, so.
So they still would be able to help you, even though they don't have that, okay.
Jen, how many classes in total do you have to go through in order to become certified?
4.
4? Okay, thank you.
Are they like an hour class, or are they like 6 weeks, or?
No, usually it's a week long, 8 hours a day, and then they go back for the test, and they have to obviously get 65 or higher.
Okay.
and then they have to present all their classes once they're complete to the state, and then you have to take another test with the state.
And how much is this program?
Can I just grab my sheet? I have
Yes.
So the classes range. This year it was between 450 to 550.
A class.
Yes, that includes the whole course, the test, and the booklet.
That's
binder.
the four courses that they need to take?
No, that's each.
Yeah, it's each, okay. So we're probably talking about 2,500 or so, 3,000 for the full.
Yes.
Jen, what's the likelihood that we could post this role and hire somebody that already has the certification?
We recently did it, I want to say almost 2 years ago, and it was difficult.
Okay.
It was very difficult. To get someone certified coming in at that rate, it was hard.
Okay.
So most likely, at that rate, they won't be certified coming
Okay.
in.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Jen.
Thank you.
I mean, we can take a vote on it, but I definitely want to put that position back up to a full-time position at the 53,560, and then obviously we would have to, if we're going to do that, we would have to add another 3,000 into education and training.
Or do we just want to accept the department's recommendation for 5,000? As opposed to the 1,800 of the budget committee?
Yeah, well, it's a total of 2,000. They have 1,840 and 160, so it's like 2,000, so if we add 3.
Okay, okay.
And not to complicate this, but, I mean, when you act on this, if you can put a footnote on it, because we'd like to come back tomorrow with a different approach that may reduce the upfront cost of that replacement position with a not a stipend, but a move up upon certification, because we're taking a look at this position relative to other clerks in town hall, and there may be a better approach to that. So we'd want to come back and talk to you about that.
So you're asking for a second look,
Yes.
last look.
I am.
All right, so we'll just, yeah, make a note to come back to it, okay. Does anyone have any other changes to the tax assessor?
At this point, no.
All right, so Tony, if we made those changes, what would be the total for the,
Total for the department, for the assessor department, is $248,830.07. Hold on, 1 second. I think I have to change the medical, because
yeah, I was gonna say, was that
Yeah, give me 1
reduced
second.
also?
I have to.
Yeah, why don't you go up, Jen? I know. Jen, why aren't you at the table?
I'm not special enough. I don't know. So I just wanted to clarify the education. So the 5,000 that I proposed, so I need continuing ed, but I need it over time. So I believe it's 2.5 years. I need certain amount of hours. So I just didn't want you to add the two together for education. Like the 5 would be enough, because I I can work it out, so where if they need a class, I could take a class the following year, or like
Yeah,
break
so
it
right
up.
now, the budget committee had recommended 2,000, but previous you had 5,100, so you need it back up to 5,000, right?
Sorry, the 5,160. Because the 160 is the mandatory assessor appoint meetings that we go to.
Right, so you need the full 5,000, right? Is that accurate or no?
Well, is it likely that they would be taking all the classes in 1 year?
5160 or 5,000?
The total for just education and the classes, because it's in the same account, the budget line, it would be, the total would be the 5,160.
Right, okay.
So the 5,000 plus the 160 for the 4 classes.
But Jen, is it likely that they would be taking all the classes in the same year?
If they offer it in that year,
Yeah,
usually they only have 2 to 3 a year if we
Yeah.
have enough people.
okay.
But I could work it out where I could take a class.
Yeah, but if it
Different.
becomes available, I think it's important that you get that person through it, as soon as
Mhm.
possible, so.
Yeah.
To only give you like $500 less than what you need to do the full,
And it comes up and I don't
yeah,
have
then
it.
you're stuck, right? So,
Right.
okay, thanks, Jen.
Thank you.
So the new department total is $273,019.08. I had to go back and fix the benefits.
Anyone want to make a motion to,
I will make put my mic on. I will make a motion to approve the tax assessor budget of
no,
273,000.
273?
273,000?
273.
$273,019.08.
Second.
That's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Biragad.
Yes.
Mr. Christopherow.
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara. Mr. Punchak.
Yes.
Ms. Alves.
Yes. IT, the Budget Committee's recommendation is $150,458.62. Does anyone have any discussion or like to make a motion?
I would just like to add in the removal of the contingency. So the reason we usually have like a small accumulative amount of contingency in there is under the software and licenses line is for, yeah, they're pretty dramatic. The price changes that happen throughout the year, like I know we all probably saw the GPU, not GPU, the RAMs increase in price. The laptops consequently went up in price pretty high, so that contingency allows us fluctuation of being able to purchase or the software itself goes up because they don't run on the same fiscal year as us. So some of those licenses, right. So someone might leave, or we might add another position, we might need another license. So that's where we have that small contingency, the 3,000.
So your new figures are accounting for price increases that you already know about?
No, the price increases are the ones that we don't know that are coming, because they tend to increase the prices halfway through the year on January 1st, where they don't know what they are yet. I can't get those figures from the company yet, but they always change on me. And a lot of times we end up over budget because of it. So I started putting this contingency in to try to alleviate that.
So you haven't used the contingency, though, in the past 2 years, it would appear.
That's because we had reserves.
Right, which are going away.
But you said a lot of the renewals are in January,
Yeah.
so it'd only be half the year, right?
Right.
So you thinking cut that in half, Kim?
It's not a full year, so if you're looking at a 5 or 3% on the total cost, it's only gonna be for 6 months, right? So,
I mean, the percentage, it's a total estimate, so I think we should put something in there, but yeah, if you want to say it's for half the year, it's a guess.
1,600 or $2,000,
Yeah,
go 1,600. Can we change that to 1,600? Or add it to the town council budget?
Town council budget. You mean as a contribution?
No,
No,
in
in
this
the
column,
column.
yeah.
Oh,
I know, at first I was thinking he was moving it.
So the new department total is $152,058.62. $152,058.62.
Good.
We're good. Anyone like to make a motion for IT?
I'll make a motion for IT in the amount of $152,058.62.
That's a motion. Is there a second?
second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Biragad.
Yes.
Mr. Christopherow.
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara.
Yes.
Mr. Punchak.
Yes.
Ms. Alves.
Yes. All right, come up with some easy ones now. Conservation Commission. Budget Committee's recommending $700. Anyone have any conversation or like to make a motion?
Can we talk about these collectively? Because we have the Conservation Commission, I think maybe the Historic District Commission could sit separately, but Economic Development Art Committee. It looks like year over year, those committees haven't necessarily used that budget. Now, I wouldn't want to cut the budget for committees, but can we establish like one fund with a certain amount of money that any board or committee could leverage? So like, let's say, I'm just going to use groundwater protection as an example. Right now, we don't have a budget, right? But if I could come to the town council and say, I have this event that I'd like to do, it would cost X amount of money, and then we have a repository of money, let's say 5,000 allocated for boards and commissions. And then the town council could then approve using funds from that.
My only question is, how would each one know going into the year what they have to spend? Like, the art committee just changed over stuff, how would they know what they have available?
So I love that question.
Okay.
First come, first served.
Well, I think it's, like, we need a bigger, like, overhaul of boards and commissions and establishing goals and strategic priorities and blah, blah, blah. But I think eventually, like, there needs to be more planning, right? But I think until we have the boards and committees on a regular, or at least until they have an understanding that they know what they want to do and they can allocate a budget every year or request a budget every year, I think establishing a fund where boards and committees can come to the town council and request that, and then we could approve it or deny it accordingly. But I don't want to remove this money. But these committees haven't been specifically using it, but Parks and Rec committee might want to use it, right? And they don't have a budget. So I would like to just bunch all of that money together into one fund so that it's accessible to all boards and commissions that present a plan, and then the town council could approve accordingly.
If you build a fund, it wouldn't be fully represented in here, in the general fund, it'd have to be combined.
I think you're gonna look at it differently. Identify the people you wanna give budgets to and give them budgets as opposed to one.
Yeah.
You know, because one committee could go and blow the whole thing.
No, I
up
think we
front,
would
you know what I
probably have to
mean?
put some guardrails around it. Like, the groundwater protection couldn't come and say, I want to use $5,000 of that. 5,000.
So would they be coming to you for each purchase throughout the year? They would have to show up and ask before, like,
That
the
would
art
they
committee
would.
purchases new hooks for the wall or different
Well,
things?
currently, they don't do that like, they're not
Yeah,
using
they-
this money.
The art committee is.
So
The art committee is,
Yeah,
but-
some do, a little bit.
I can safely say the art committee, because they were using reserves.
They were.
So, yeah, historically, they don't look like they were using anything, but they used all the money in reserves, because I told them it was leaving, so.
Okay, hold on, David, I think you had something to say.
Again, point of order, we're getting off the budget. There's a budget item before you, it's up or down or change. If you want to change the budget process, this isn't the meeting to do that.
But we have to approve these
Will you
budget items
approve
for,
Either yes or no on the 700
okay.
and move on. I mean, that's what you're supposed to be doing. That's what the public is expecting. That's what's advertised. That's what's being presented. Not a discussion about reorganizing
Okay.
how boards and commissions receive money.
So if we wanted to do that, that would be a.
Different discussion for
okay.
another day.
Okay,
Yeah, and I would suggest to build on that, maybe next year when we go through the budget process, we be preemptive and go to the various boards and commissions and say, okay,
I like that.
what do you want?
Or maybe
Put
vice
together a
versa.
plan, you know, with a number attached to it, and we'll discuss it as part of the budget process.
Okay, I like that. Okay, sorry we got off track, David.
Anyone
I
like to
will make a motion to approve the Conservation Commission budget in the amount of $700.
That's a motion. Is there a second? I'll second. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Biragad.
Yes.
Mr. Christopherow.
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara. Yes. Mr. Punchak.
Yes.
Ms. Alves.
Yes. Historic District Commission, Budget Committee's recommendation is $10,000.
Why is there such
Yeah.
a big spread?
They
Like,
haven't
we go,
spent anything this year.
yeah, there wasn't even a budget last year. They spent nothing the year before, so
Yeah, what's the logic?
yeah, what's driving the 10,000?
Trying to remember. TJ?
Douglas Oja, 1984 Providence Pike, Chair of the Budget Committee. It's a grant match, essentially. This project's been before the council for a few
Is it the
years
windows?
now. Huh?
The windows or?
No, that's Heritage. This is for Historic District grant. It's partly through the state, and I believe the federal government might be having a piece of it, but I think the project's gotten delayed a few years, so it's to essentially keep the match available and alive, to my recollection.
So it would have just been helpful to have that on the line. So-
I'll make a motion to approve $10,000 for the Historic District Commission.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Biragad.
Yes.
Mr. Christopherow.
Yes,
Mrs. O'Hara. Yes. Mr. Punchak.
Yes.
Ms. Alves.
Yes. I'm just going to make a note that we revisit that, should we have to come back later on. Economic Development, Budget Committee's recommendation is $200. Anyone like to make a motion or any discussion?
I'll make a motion to approve $200 for the Economic Development.
That's a motion. Is there a second?
second.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Biragad.
Yes.
Mr. Christopherow.
Yes,
Mrs. O'Hara. Mr. Punchak.
Yes.
Ms. Alves.
Yes. Art Committee, Budget Committee's recommendation of $250. Anyone like to make a motion or have any discussion?
I want to make a comment. Does it send a message that we're putting more to Art Committee than we are to Economic Development?
well, in theory, isn't that what the Economic Development Committee is requesting?
Well, it seems strange to me.
I mean, how much did they actually spend this year? I know they had
Doesn't look like
reserves,
anything.
but.
Yeah, they had about 1,100 in reserves, if I remember correctly, and they spent like almost 800, if not a little over.
But that's because you told them it was going.
That's because I told them, but, I mean, to say what that is operationally on a normal year, I can't tell you, but
So did the Art Committee come to the Budget Committee and request 1,000? No.
they sent me, like, because these smaller commissions and committees, I will send whoever's on that committee or commission an email with the template saying, what's your request? And then they'll send it back to me. If I don't get anything, I'll just keep it level funded from the last year and leave it up to the TA and the budget committee to make those decisions.
It's apples and oranges anyway. The Art Committee needs frames and hooks and all those strings and all that stuff every year to operate, but unless the Economic Development wants to frame some stuff and hang it in the
Well,
foyer
And what
over
the
there.
Economic Development Committee has been, I wouldn't say benefiting from, but they're the sounding board that we use as part of the 146 planning effort. So there's a significant amount of money being spent in that arena, which they are participating in. So it's not that they don't have resources, it's just the resources are focused on one project.
Yeah, no, we approved the economic development.
I know, but the question was about why economic development is not as much as arts, that's
All right,
all.
so what do we want to give to the art committee? 200?
I think the 250 is fair.
Make a motion?
No question.
Used to
Do
be
we
2,000.
feel like the 250 will disengage the committee? Sounds like they're relatively engaged.
Disengage them, what do you mean?
Like by decreasing the budget from 1,000.
It used to be 2,000
Okay.
when it
But,
first started.
Tony, so this year you're saying they used 1,100 because it was reserves, and then the prior year they didn't spend anything. Is it because they still had reserves? So
No.
obviously they haven't spent really anything if it's been all on reserves, right?
Yeah, so the year prior, that's why. So the year prior, there was almost nobody on the board from what I had understood. And then now, within this fiscal year that we're in currently, they had gained more members and more engagement. And then that's when her and I had, actually, talked a lot more this year. And she had ordered a lot more, was doing more events and stuff, as far as I know.
I'd go to 500. The data
Yeah.
we have here is 371, so, you
Mhm.
know, they can,
Yeah, that's fair.
I'd go to
Yeah.
500.
All right, so I want to make a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the art committee budget of $500.
That's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Biragad.
Yes.
Mr. Christopherow.
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara.
Yes.
Mr. Punchak.
Yes.
Ms. Alves.
Yes. Juvenile Hearing Board, Budget Committee's recommendation is $4,566.16.
Motion to approve juvenile hearing board in the amount of $4,566.16.
Second.
It's a motion, a second. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Biragad.
Yes.
Mr. Christopherow.
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara.
Yes.
Mr. Punchak.
Yes.
Ms. Alves.
Yes. Now Smithfield Library, Budget Committee's recommendation is $541,685. Is there a motion or any discussion?
I just have a question for state aid. Is the 99,000 a match? Like, would,
It's a pass-through, so we get the money, pass it through. It's an expense, so I have to expense it and revenue it,
okay.
yeah,
Okay.
just like education aid.
Anyone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the library budget in the amount of $541,685.
It's a motion, is there a second? Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Biragad.
Yes.
Mr. Christopherow.
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara. Mr. Punchak.
Yes.
Ms. Alves.
Yes. Dispatch, Budget Committee is recommending $362,933.23. Any discussion or motion?
I'm just wondering where the town administrators, like, what's the,
It was 500.
okay,
Yeah, there was a formulaic change for
Okay.
yeah.
okay. So it's 362.
Is this as a whole department, Tony, or is that we supposed to vote on that one alone? Dispatch?
You can vote on it as a department,
Okay.
yeah.
Anyone have any comments or like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve dispatch budget in the amount of $362,933.23.
Second.
That's a motion, a second. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Biragad.
Yes.
Mr. Christopherow.
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara.
Yeah.
Mr. Punchak.
Yes.
Ms. Alves.
Yes. Police Department, Budget Committee, what's the difference, Tony?
The, I had open enrollment changes in the benefits. Or, no, that was, sorry, you're right, that's MERS. There was a formula correction
Oh, yeah.
back here in the MERS. It was calculating the, that ERSRI had sent us the new version, the new percentages for the police. They update them every year from what the employer side is supposed to contribute.
What about the ERA, is there what's the, for fuel, what's going on in that line? We're just dropping it that much? So why, I guess, why is there no fuel expense? I'm sorry, vehicle repair and maintenance, why is there no expense in the line for this year?
Because we, last year, remember, we had decided to, the council had decided to use reserves,
Okay.
all of the reserves, and they've certainly used all of it.
Okay. So is there any overage that would show up in this line, or no?
No, they've gotten down. Yeah, exactly, budget transfers.
Terry, and you can
No,
make comments too.
she's gonna put duct tape over my
Yeah.
mouth for the rest of
Yeah,
the meeting.
I was just gonna say, they did some budget transfers to cover what they needed for the rest of their repairs.
Okay.
Madam President, may I ask the chief a question?
Absolutely.
Chief, after this most recent pay raise, what are the, what is the top salary for a captain?
It's in the budget, it's,
I got it over here, but it's, does that make sense? It's $204,000? Oh, that's for two captains, right?
that's cool. Like that.
But that doesn't include the, does that include the, I'm just trying to get to something, does that include the raise? Or is that's the final?
Yes,
I'd have to ask them.
yeah, that's reflective of the new rates for these are all reflective of all the rates for the new contract.
So a captain then on the police right now is making $102,000 a year, correct?
Correct, they will be in this upcoming fiscal year.
Okay. And the chief is making currently $109,000?
That's what's proposed by the budget committee. 3% raise.
I'm just trying to keep parity with the police chief and the captains, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm just trying to make sure that there's parity with the captains getting, and everybody else getting a raise, and the chief is proportionately, I mean, it doesn't make sense if his captains are making pretty much what he is.
Yeah.
In the administrator's budget, I actually, instead of giving 3 to the chief, I gave 5% in reflection of the creep coming up due to the new contract.
Okay. That's what I would recommend, to go with the administrator's recommendation for the chief, because I mean, it just doesn't work if the guys under him are making pretty much as he is.
Now, do they get to do overtime and details and stuff?
Excuse me?
Do they get to do overtime and
Yes.
details?
Yes, they do.
So what's their base? Like, what would be their base?
That's the reason.
That's the base?
102, yeah,
Yeah, so I
102.
think what the council's speaking of is called incremental spread blanket pay. So as collective bargaining goes through, there's a certain amount, say it's $10,000 between sergeant, captain, lieutenant. But with collective bargaining, my raise comes every year in the budget process, but when collective bargaining comes and they've got a stipend along with the percentage raise, they kind of gonna pass me.
And it's good to point out, too, that we're getting a discount with this chief, because the average salary for a police chief in the state of Rhode Island is $135,000 a year.
We're getting a discount.
150
Another company guy right there.
154.
Absolutely.
I asked, what, the other one there. But, so that's, just to give you a reference.
Thank you.
So my recommendation for this is to go along with the administrator's recommendation for a 5% increase for the chief.
Anyone have any other discussion for the police department?
I think I'll just say this. I know that we talked a bit about the 3% increase across the board and not, picking one role over the other. But John, I think you do present a good argument between the gap between captain and chief. So that's what's selling me on the 5%, because we obviously want to maintain
Right.
a relevant difference.
Yeah, I'll make that motion, yes.
Yeah.
Second.
You're making a motion to change it?
I'm making a motion that increase the chief's salary based on the administrator's recommendation of 5%.
Okay, so we have a motion, a second. Any further discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Biragad.
Yes.
Mr. Christopherow.
Yes?
Mrs. O'Hara. Mr. Punchak.
Yes.
Ms. Alves.
Yes.
So Tony has to recalculate, right?
Mm-hmm. Is there going to be any other changes for the department? Any other discussion?
Question regarding, so we have the capital transfer, $77,858 for a new cruiser. So budget committee's saying one cruiser out of general fund. So are they requesting two and we're saying one out of the general fund and then 77,000 for the second cruiser? Like help me just to understand what.
The department is requesting three.
Three.
The TA and the budget committee is saying only pay for one out of general fund and pay for the other two out of the cruiser fund.
The cruiser fund.
Yeah, which
Okay.
is generated by police detail.
Details, okay. Got it, okay.
Cruiser mounted license plate readers. I don't like the sound of that.
That's a hard no.
And the removal of the body cams is just due to extracting that out of the general fund and putting that through the grant fund.
Okay.
So,
Anyone have any other comments, changes? Tony, can we have a new number?
new total for the police department is $5,239,256.32.
Just want to take one more quick look at this.
Mm-hmm.
Are we requesting any new officers? Like any new headcount?
Yes,
How many?
I believe the budget committee, 2, and I recommended 3.
You recommended how many?
Excuse me,
How many did you recommend?
3.
And the budget committee's recommending 2. Are we currently, down 2 or 3?
We're down 2 now.
We're down 2 now. Okay.
So just to give you an idea of what the situation that the manpower shortage is calling for is, and the school committee's here too, school department's here, we wanted security at every event since that shooting that happened at Lynch Arena. We wanted security at every event, and we just don't have the manpower. We don't have the manpower to provide security like all the parents want. As much as we try, and they do try, but they have to fill they have to fill the shortage, the minimum manning first, and then they can take care of the other things. And events have been going uncovered because we just don't have the manpower to send police officers to every event. They're at some, but not at every one. So we do need more people on there.
So we're currently down 2, and the budget committee is only recommending that we backfill those 2 open roles.
No,
No, two new.
That's two need to be backfilled to keep us to our complement. that
And then we want
additional
2 more on top of that.
The budget committee does. I'm requesting.
Okay.
Any other changes? Anyone want to make a motion to accept the new total for the police department?
I'll make a motion to accept $5,239,256.32.
It's a motion, is there a second? Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Biragad.
Yes.
Mr. Christopherow.
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara. Mr. Punchak.
Yes.
Ms. Alves.
Yes. Animal control, budget committee is recommend, what's the change, Tony?
This is, and Mr. Pendergast and our animal control officers here, they can speak more to it, but there's a change for the position, instead of a kennel assistant, I think they wanted the animal control officer, right, Leon? I don't know if you want to talk more about it in terms of the reason.
Good afternoon, or
Hi.
evening. So I'm looking to make it from a kennel assistant to a part-time animal control officer to add more coverage for the town, and give me the availability to have someone there on the weekends when I'm not, when there's an animal control emergency versus just having a kennel attendant.
This position was in the budget years ago, and a decision was made to save money to make it a kennel assistant. As a result of that change with the animal control officer before, Leanne, it's not working, and the reason it's not working is it's still causing her to come in on overtime, so our overtime budget's gonna blow right out of the water. So we're gonna go back to a part-time ACO who has the ability and the credentials to go out and do her job on a part-time basis, 19 hours a week.
So a kennel assistant, they don't have like the certifications, right, like a ACO would? Okay.
They're not certified.
So are they supposed to go out and do?
Kennel assistants cannot.
Okay.
They have to be certified to go out on animal control, related emergencies. The class is 2 modules, it's 1 week of each, twice a year, and it's about $500 to certify someone. And it saves probably about, right now on average, I do 4 overtime callbacks a month, give or take, and I'm coming into my busy season right now.
So we're looking at a full-time,
Part-time,
part-time
part-time
ACO,
Yeah.
and then still a part-time kennel, or
No, no more part-time.
no kennel?
It's not needed for the volume of animals that come in and out of that shelter. I don't need someone there to take care of the animals. I need someone there to protect the town.
So the kennel assistant part-time at Union 3.5%, that's not the role that we're looking for.
Say it again, I'm sorry. I was just making sure.
It says kennel assistant part-time.
Yeah, I just changed that to animal control officer.
Okay, but what we have there is the $23,870, so
That's the kennel assistant.
Okay, so that salary no longer applies because we're not looking for a kennel assistant.
Correct. Yeah, I have it up here, and I can give
Okay,
you the department total
25,401.
once you guys have
So
made.
that's the difference between a part-time kennel and a part-time ACO?
Yes.
Are we sure about that?
That's,
$1,500, yeah.
yeah, it's reflective of the union contract, yeah.
Oh, okay.
While we're waiting for them to do that, I hear great things about you.
Yes.
Well, only believe half of them.
I haven't had the need to call you, but I hear good things.
Thank you, I appreciate that. For the small difference in what it's gonna cost in my budget, it's gonna benefit the town substantially more. You know, the amount of calls that I get, just for even the most mundane thing, you have to have someone educated that can know how to answer those questions and respond to those calls. So, for the small difference, it'll make a big difference for the whole town in general.
Do you get a lot of calls for chickens?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Chicken and rooster complaints.
I get people calling me about chickens,
What are they calling about?
complaining that there's chickens in their neighbor's yard.
If you get any call for ducks, I need some.
You need some?
So, yeah,
I might be able to help you with that.
okay,
I might be able to help you with that.
okay. I'll give you a call.
Okay.
But no, there's been great things said about
Yeah.
you, and I think it was great when you like advertised some of the animals that are in the shelter, like you travel around town with them, it's great. It's good for the kennel.
I can thank both the chiefs for that, too. I definitely use both their men.
Yeah, I saw that.
One thing I learned from the city of Cranston, so,
Well, great job, thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Welcome.
appreciate it.
All right, anyone have any motions or changes to the animal control? So Tony, what's the new, if we were to go with the,
So the new total for animal control is $136,900.07.
970?
$900.07.
Oh, 7 cents.
I'll make a motion to approve the animal control budget in the amount of $136,900.07.
That's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Biragad.
Yes.
Mrs. Christopherow.
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara.
Yes.
Mr. Punchak.
Yes.
Ms. Alves.
Yes. EMA, Budget Committee's recommendation is $44,249.44. Is there any discussion or motion?
What is the big jump in their dues and subscriptions from 2024, 2025 into 2026? It was $104, $108, and then it jumped up to $1,550. And we're looking at 500, so are we going into something knowing we're already under budget?
Give me a second to look at that.
500 on there.
Hmm.
It looks like the biggest increase is that capital transfer, a 60% increase. Right. Right.
What's that?
No, it's just,
So this year, those are the expenses that they've had this fiscal year. Two license renewals. And, huh?
That 10-year radio license?
Did they always have a website?
Well, yeah, they had a website prior, but Branconier he had an account and somehow I was told it was free. And then they wanted to recreate that and go under like GoDaddy, which they did for the lack of time. But the budget committee is suggesting, you guys can talk more about it, that they just open up a page within the town's website. Just more developed, yeah.
all right, so right there, the two LG communications is $1,050. Are those every year? FCC license,
Those are the renewal licenses for some of the frequencies that we have for,
is that yearly?
yes,
So we would have to at least budget for that to be prudent.
I would say yes, yep.
So I guess following on David's question, so did those expenses hit the other departments in prior years? Because
Other
we've only
department-
expensed $108, $104, and if we have $1,050 in licenses, and it said
This year.
fire department and DPW, did they hit the other departments?
I can check. I would probably assume if it hit the fire department. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, was like, if it was fire, it could have hit 120, but police, I should be able to, I might be able to check. Oh, DPW. Oh. current year. You're asking if that was also expended in this?
Well, not also, but were they hitting the other departments rather than EMA, because that expense hasn't hit there in like
2 years.
25, it wasn't, 24, it wasn't.
Well, we also have new management in EMA right now, so I think that there's a little bit of changes in the chief can speak better to that than I can, because I'm
I
not.
mean, are they always, you said they're licenses we have every year, right?
Yes, the licenses that come up for both the EMA frequencies that they operate on the VHF frequencies, and also, I don't know why our frequencies would be on part of the EMA money. I don't understand that, because we just renewed our licenses and it came from our budget.
So what we just saw up there is wrong in your opinion?
I don't see that here. That's making me dizzy, that's all.
I'm trying to do multiple things at once here. Let's see, that's DPW. But here's the current year.
Is that what you're looking at?
Yeah.
5350?
50360. Dues and subscriptions.
50360 is, yes.
For EMA.
Right, but then you got Department of Public Works and you got Fire Department.
Yeah, 50360 on my sheet is dues and subscriptions.
Right above, right where it says dues and subscriptions, you see it? Huh?
All the way to the right.
All the way to the right.
Never hit my button. Email's got more money than me anyway. Sorry, Chief.
Stop that. Yes. He's put it.
Okay. So should we come back to this one, or? All right, so we'll come back to this one.
Is this the time we can talk about the capital part of this, the EMA budget, or are we circling back for all the capital stuff?
We usually circle back.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna go down to North Smithfield Fire Department. Budget Committee is recommending $5,159,354.94.
May I ask a question?
Yeah.
How many additional firefighters does the Budget Committee recommend? Chief?
Looks like here, the budget, we requested 2, and the budget committee has recommended 1. What we're trying to accomplish is to try to get a hold of the overtime that we have by putting on 4 additional personnel over the next 2 years to have floaters. We can put them on, currently we have a 2-man engine that runs out of the St. Paul Street station. From a staffing standpoint, that's not the safest way to operate, especially when we have a major incident. But at the same time, what we're trying to do is have that person who would not be written into the contract for minimum manning, we would use them, what we call a floater. So when somebody was out on an overtime, on a sick day or a vacation day, we could move that person into that vacant position for however many hours that's for. It could be a 10-hour shift, a 14-hour, or a 24-hour shift. We did some data, and that could save us some significant money. In last year's fiscal year, we spent $383,000, 203.
In overtime?
In overtime. If we would have had 1 floater to cover 1 private position, we would have saved $55,714 last fiscal year.
So he would have got paid his salary, plus you would have saved 55,000.
We would have only saved on the halftime, because you'd be paying that person the straight time for that salary, so.
No,
you
but the
would have
bottom
saved-
line is $55,000 savings.
Correct, that would have been a $55,000 savings. This year, so far, up until June 1st, we've spent $403,717 in overtime. And if we had one floater per shift to cover the overtimes, so far, we would have saved $44,927 in the overtime. And like I said, to go back to the safety part of that, we would move, be able to beef up that two-man engine to a three-man engine. So if nobody was out, we would be able to handle more of a major incident a lot more efficient. Even on routine medical calls, sometimes we have to send a third person with the rescue if it's a cardiac arrest or if it's a female psych evaluation or something like that. When that engine rolls with that rescue out of St. Paul Street Station, if they need that, now that engine is down, they have to go to Landmark Medical Center with the rescue so that they can get back in a timely manner. If they have to go to Hasbro or Rhode Island Hospital or any point south, that engine is down until they come back with that other person.
And then we're looking at mutual aid.
Then, yes, potentially, yes. You know, so we're just trying to find a way to get overtime under control, or at least save a little bit of money on overtime, and to increase the staffing, the safety for staffing on the engine. That could move us from a 7-man shift to an 8-man shift if we continue on this plan. So, I mean, I would request, I certainly appreciate what the Budget Committee is recommending. We certainly appreciate the one. 2 would be able to get us there a lot quicker. If we're gonna do one at a time, we're only gonna save 25%, and we're still gonna have, you know, the safety issue that we've been dealing with for many years.
How many rescues do we have on the road?
We have
24
7
hours?
men, as of July, the middle of July, we're gonna have 7-man shifts. The staffing plan that we currently put into effect with the support of the council, we're done hiring those 8 people. That rescue has been on 7 12-hour days now for just about a year, and we've seen a big increase in the number of alarms that we're able to handle medical calls a lot more efficiently. And I will say, it was never about the money and the revenue through the third-party billing, but we're on track to potentially bring in an additional $120,000 in third-party billing money just by that truck being staffed for 12 hours a day. So I anticipate once it's on 24 hours, as of July, we're probably gonna bring in a lot more third-party billing money, which in turn helps our situation with planning for apparatus replacement.
So, quick question. When you go to Woonsocket or a neighboring community as a mutual aid, and we transport somebody to the hospital, we get the third-party billing?
We do.
Okay.
But in the same time, at the same point, when they come here.
They get it.
They get it.
Right. So you're saying that that extra body would pay for itself, and then some?
Well, the money would be in third-party billing.
No, I'm not talking about, I'm talking about overtime. Overtime savings, you're saying that.
Roughly, yeah, one person. It would cover one person, because we're looking at about $61,000 per person. What's that? That's a half a year, correct.
What do you mean? Okay.
Because we were always bringing them on in January, so it was a half fiscal year.
Right, it'd be like for a full year, it's 235 or something like that. I'd have to do the math.
Okay.
But the 123 that we had requested is for a half a year. That would be to hire them as of January 1, put them in the February academy.
So are we fully staffed right now?
We are. Right now, yes, we are.
Okay. Everyone out of the academy, yes?
Right now, they're in their station rotations. As of the target date is to put everybody on shifts as of July 18th. I do have one captain that's out on long-term medical, but he's due to come back at the end of July.
Chief, I think you sold me at safety.
I'm sorry?
I said, I think you sold me at safety. So I would align with the 2 as opposed to the 1 that's being recommended by Budget Committee. We know that it's going to cost us, but it sounds like we'll be a lot safer
I agree.
with that role. We'll decrease the amount of overtime, and then I know that we're not looking for this to be profitable, but mutual aid will be more accessible with more people.
When we talk about the safety, I just want to be clear that, you know, currently how we run, like I said, we have a two-man truck. That, for instance, the fire we had on Road a year or 2 ago, that truck was first there. It had 2 people. Those 2 guys had to, you know, put a hose line in place. They had to leave the truck. They had to go inside the building. Nobody operating the truck until I got there. I'm supposed to be in command of the fire. I'm temporarily operating the truck. It's not an effective, efficient way to operate, and it's very unsafe.
Any more
I would tend to agree. Yeah, I agree with you. And,
Well, I agree with you.
well, you know, what I mean. We're on the same page.
Any more discussion regarding the fire department? Anyone like to make a motion?
So we want to change that,
Yes.
the 61 that we have, 61,593 to reflect 123,000.
Yes, 123, 186 was our request.
And could I ask another question, Chief?
Yes.
The fire hydrant rentals.
Mhm.
It's always a little bit of a sore spot because we're paying for fire hydrant rentals, especially like down in Union Village that don't really produce any water, right?
We've had those all inspected by Bill.
And they're good? Good pressure?
When you get into Union Village, the pressure's only gonna be around 40 PSI. That's when you just start to get in there. In some places, it's less than that. So, but you also got small water mains in there, so you're not gonna get huge flows out of there. But the only way to improve that is that comes off Mount Low. Right, the water pressure, it's a gravity fed system. So
Oh, that doesn't come off from the city of Woonsocket?
it does. I'm sorry, so, if you go up to Mount St. Charles, you got low service
Yeah.
tanks, and you got high service
Right.
tanks. So Mount Low is the reservoir for the city, so that feeds off of that. When you get onto Greenville Road, they got 100 PSI, right? That's being fed off of Mount High, the high service at Mount St. Charles. So that's the difference over there. The only way to increase that pressure really is to have Woonsocket fill those tanks higher.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we did have cases, which we had discussed, where some hydrants, there was questions about their functionality, and that's all been addressed in the field.
It's, there's still the one.
That one issue, yeah.
Down Great Road, and, yeah, that hasn't been addressed yet. And so there's conversation about that, but, to give you a little bit of detail on that, some of the original hydrants on the system, they're called, Chapman hydrants. That's one of those, right? It's an original hydrant. It's a 4-inch hydrant branch, it has no valve on it. So to change it, you're talking about shutting off the water line over there, tapping the main, putting in a hydrant. So Woonsocket's a little reluctant to do that. It does work, but you're talking cheetah bars on there. Once you get it to open, it will work. You can get water out of it, but you know, it's not working properly. I'll say that.
Yeah.
And if I could just add to that, with all due respect for Bill and the TA, from our perspective in our business, there's a big difference between a fire hydrant that flows maybe enough, gets water out of it, but does it flow enough water for what we may need? You know, 40 PSI out of a hydrant, you know, you get a duplex on Woonsocket Hill Road that's really going really good. We're gonna need a lot of water. And we deal in terms of static pressure and residual pressure. Residual pressure is the amount of water that we're bringing into the truck and what we're putting out. And 40 PSI isn't gonna cut it. If we have so we have a strategic plan that if we get a fire in anywhere in that area, we immediately stage tanker trucks at the St. Paul Street Station, just in case we need them, because we know already that we're not gonna have enough water.
So how many subpar fire hydrants are we paying for?
Well, there's 100 hydrants. It's kind of difficult to call out because I need to count them in the village. I mean, if I had to guess off the top of my head, it'd be maybe 25 or 30 over there where you're not getting the flow that the chief needs to put out fires. That is what it is. I mean, yeah.
I think as a council, that's something we should look into after the budget, that we're paying money for this and
It
not
would
getting
be a big undertaking to overhaul that whole system, I would think,
Well,
correct,
it's not
Bill?
about overhauling, it's about paying. We're paying for something that we're not getting.
Well, I mean, so if you, and this is where, we're probably, he's not gonna like this, but the Department of Health requires 30 PSI. They require 20, they wanna see 30.
Fill up a swimming pool with 20.
When they see 40, that's adequate for public health.
Right.
Right, but it's not for fire, it's not for fire. So, I mean, that's what the issue is. So as far as when to play the devil's advocate, when sockets meeting their obligation for public health, for firefighting,
So is it safe to say that you wouldn't even use it attached to any hydrant?
I would definitely use them, because at least we've got something coming into the truck.
Mhm.
Because when we arrive, we're either arriving with the 750 gallons that we have on engine one, or the 1,000 gallons. Eventually, they all get there, So we would we'll take what we can get, but if we get into a situation where we're needing to put multiple hand lines or, bigger appliances into operation, just operating off of one of those fire hydrants isn't gonna do anything. We're not gonna have enough water. And we can't, some communities, you would say, okay, maybe attached to another hydrant, but that's all on the same system. Yeah, so it's gonna be even worse.
Right, you'll kill the pressure on the other one.
That's why in our operational plan, we say anything in that area, we stage tanker trucks at the St. Paul Street Station.
what would have to happen there is you would have to put a water line, right, from Park Avenue all the way past the cemetery, connect at South Main, and then, because that's, like I said, Mount High, and then you would end up cutting off at South Main Street. And that would increase the pressure over there. You probably got 80 PSI over there. But Woonsocket isn't gonna make that investment.
Right.
So.
So my point is not that. My point is that we're paying for peace of mind that's really a false sense of security. Anyway, we'll bring that up at a later date.
Okay. Is there any other changes to the fire department?
Did we make the change with the extra body?
I have a request, this may be capital, but we're going back to that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
They changed it to the 123.
Okay.
So the new total?
New total is $5,220,947.94.
I'll make a motion to approve the fire department budget for $5,220,947.94.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Biragad.
Yes.
Mr. Christopherow.
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara. Mr. Punchak.
Yes.
Ms. Els.
Yes. All right, building and zoning, the budget committee has recommended $263,439.94. Does anyone have any discussion or make a motion?
Yeah, if I could chime in on this as it relates to salaries. My budget included taking the zoning clerk and making that person full-time. And that is a fundamental strategic initiative to enhance operational issues within the department.
I'm aligned with the town administrator's recommendation on that one. I think that department could
Needs a
use.
little help.
Needs help?
Yeah. Why the okay, so $45,704.51 for that part-time zoning to move to full-time.
Any other changes or discussion in building and zoning? New total, Tony?
New total for building and zoning is $288,040.40. Just confirmed that the individual agreed to not take any benefits, so I didn't have to change anything there.
Okay, if there's no other changes, anyone want to make a motion for building and zoning?
I'll make a motion to approve building and zoning department budget in the amount of $288,040.40.
That's a motion. Is there a second? Did you second? Any further discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Biragad.
Yes.
Mr. Christopherow.
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara. Mr. Punchak.
Yes.
Ms. Alves.
Yes. Just put on record, I'm going to recuse myself for DPW.
Moving on to DPW. And we're holding on capital conversations, right?
Correct.
We have been, yeah.
Okay. Any discussion on the DPW budget?
No.
There's, under 50510, professional services, and in the detail, it's facility management services. It's not funded. I have no idea what that is.
Wait, hold on one sec, right? 50510? Oh, yep, professional services.
That was a while ago when we were all in discussion. I think this was prior to this council, if I can remember correctly. That was when everyone wanted a facility manager, and we put it there. That's what that was for.
Okay, but
I
there's
just
no.
never deleted it because it's just,
Okay,
This
but
is
there's
from
nothing
that prior.
associated with that, so.
Yeah, it's not going to be funded.
Okay. Okay, so the town council budget reflects the budget committee's proposed budget in the amount of $170,127.37. Any questions? Discussion? Does anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve DPW budget in the amount of $170,127.37.
That's a motion. Do we have a second? John, Claire, John? Roll call, please.
Mr. Biragad.
Yes.
Mr. Christopherow.
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara. Mr. Punchak.
Yes.
Ms. Alves.
Recuse.
Oh, do I do highway too?
I can do that.
Okay.
Unless you want to keep going.
No, you go ahead.
Highway budget, Budget Committee's recommendation is for $4,915,051.46. What's the difference, Tony?
it's a FICA correction.
So which one is right?
It should be,
Town council one?
the town council should be
Okay.
69,938.02.
Okay. Anyone have any discussion or like to make a motion on highway?
Can I just ask a procedure question? So we're saying that we're gonna talk about capital tomorrow.
We should go back and do it
Okay, so
afterwards.
we're approving it as it exists today, and then we'll go back. Okay. Okay.
Can you tell us a little more about the gatekeeper?
Yes. So what we tried to do is, all of the overtime was under one line, which was very confusing when you put into the recycling hours and all of the other overtime hours. So what I did was I broke out the gatekeeper, which is the person who we're open on Wednesdays and Saturdays for recycling at the highway facility. So now I can put a number with that, and I also can put a number with every other overtime issue for snow removal or whatever in highway. And also there's another line for snow removal for non-highway contractual people, Parks and Rec, private vendors, or whoever we have. I'm also noticing that my overtime, I requested 80 and it's down to 45, so it is what it is. But if you have a storm like we did this winter, it really doesn't matter what's on that black piece of paper, right? Honestly. But to answer the question on recycling, those are the hours that cover when we're open, which people want us open more hours, but it's just not necessary.
So in order for those extra hours for additional recycling availability is $45,000.
It's actually, and I could tighten that up, I think it's right about that, it could be a little less, but I'm basing that off of a truck driver's overtime rate. Sometimes I have a foreman who may work it, not too much, so I try to go with the bigger average.
And what are like the things that people are, is it like bottles and cans and paper?
No. We're trying to let people do that curbside, which is what it's supposed to be for. What we actually added in this past year was because of Amazon and everybody else, we have an oversized container for cardboard. People throw paper in it, that's fine. But we monitor that because people were throwing all sorts of stuff into it and contaminated the load, and I'd get fined like $400 to $500 a load. So that's the reason we have 2 people at the gate. They monitor the yard waste, where people throw concrete and construction debris in. So everything's being monitored and it's being videotaped back there. It's actually working out really well.
So you get a lot of cardboard. Is it worth like buying a baler and baling it and selling it yourself?
It's actually a good question. We used to have, I think, a compactor at the high school years ago. I don't even know if that's there anymore. But that was how much cardboard was back then. We actually get a tremendous amount. It's emptied once a week. And it's a revenue. It goes into my diversion rates. So, I mean, we're making money on it. But the recycling hours on Wednesday and Saturday is pretty busy.
Yeah.
Half of those Amazon boxes come from my house.
The other half is mine.
All right, anyone have any other questions on highway? Anyone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the highway budget in the amount of $4,914,592.46.
That's a motion. Is there a second? Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Biragad.
Yes.
Mr. Christopherow.
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara. Mr. Punchak.
Yes.
Ms. Alves.
Yes. Parks and Rec. Budget Committee's recommendation is, what's the change, Jody?
This is change for open enrollment. One of the employees is jumping onto our plan for health and dental for family.
So the town council one is correct?
Correct. Should be in total, the total department right now should be 358, 371.
Okay. Anyone have any questions?
There's a pretty big disparity between the department and the town council. budget? Is that primarily Scouters Hall repairs renovation?
It's the two capital
Yeah,
items.
those are capital items,
Okay.
which we're not discussing yet, correct?
But if we approve the town council, we could retroactively go back and approve the Scouters Hall. Okay.
May I ask a question for Ray? Probably on here, but are fireworks on here?
Yes. 16,500. They're under, community events.
Oh, okay, okay. Thanks.
Want to be sure, are we including these votes, the capital components of the department budgets?
The numbers we've been saying have had.
Yeah, and then-
So,
Okay,
That's why.
so
Well,
the
except for
intent
this
is
one, yeah.
the intent is to go back through because we have
Yeah.
to, the council has to approve capital as its own,
Yeah,
almost like
we
its
do
own
have
fund.
That's what I thought, okay,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of questions on that.
Yeah, because we usually go line by line.
Thanks.
Any other questions? Anyone like to make a motion?
What is the number, the 358? 358, 359.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the Parks and Rec Town Council budget of $358,371.68.
That's a motion. Is there a second? Any further discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Biragad.
Yes.
Mr. Christopherow.
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara. Mr. Punchak.
Yes.
Ms. Alves.
Yes. Debt service?
Is there really much of a choice?
No,
Do we have a choice? Can we say zero?
I know. right?
So the variance is reflective of the actual projected debt service that was provided to me.
As of today?
As of, like, I think last week or the week prior, it reflected because we got the money and everything, so they gave us the amortization schedule.
Okay, so the actual amount is the $3,442,000. So, debt service in the amount of $3,442,176.79.
Motion to approve.
One sec. Oh, I can still ask. The police building renovation bond in the amount of 420,000. Tell me,
That's-
can you explain?
That's the principal side, and then there's the interest right below it.
Okay, but we discussed using our reserves.
You still have to show that you're gonna spend it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Someone say something? No?
Oh.
Okay. Roll call?
Mr. Biragad.
Yes.
Mr. Christopherow.
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara. Mr. Punchak.
Yes.
Ms. Alves.
Yes. General government?
I would just like to chime in on this, on the general government. Although it's included in the town council under contingency, same as I included the administrator's budget 75, the budget committee put in nothing on the contingency. I wanted to emphasize the fact that that contingency line item is hopefully going to we're going to focus efforts in two areas. One is to upgrade the town's budgeting software. We're looking at a couple providers now, and then we're going to present to the town council what that budgeting software can do for the town. Right now, we're doing budgeting under a Excel spreadsheet. And it also includes an element on grant management. And then the other one is hoping to try to put this in, the issue of workforce study to look at pay scales and benefit scales, because we don't have the money for that, so this would help pay for that. So that's why we kept $75,000 in our budget. Budget committee eliminated that contingency, but it's showing up on the council's budget.
So Michael Davis from the budget committee. So we eliminated that because fund balance restoration basically is that's just leading to our surplus. So that was another thing that we identified as why are we running some sort of large surplus over here? Just putting 75,000 to fund nothing would
Right.
probably contribute to the surplus. So yeah, that was the reason.
Thank you.
I do want to emphasize the fact that our budget surplus was a major factor as to why we got a 3.64% interest rate on our police station bond. And also the fact that, again, we have to be very careful paying for things like this out of fund balance. It doesn't look well to our underwriters.
The other change is the vacation and sick payouts, as of recent discussions that we wanted to add in there. Somebody?
I do appreciate the Budget Committee's recommendation on not including given the surplus. I'll obviously defer to the majority, but if we do approve, then I think it's an item that we maybe take a look at when we start to add or subtract.
No, I totally agree with you. If we know about an item that needs to be budgeted, we should budget it, but what's the settlement obligation that, is that actual? Like can we, you don't have to say it, but can you, is that
Yes.
something that's material? Okay.
Yeah.
What line item is that?
Oh, this one. Oh, I'm on this one.
Right from the bottom.
Oh, I see that, okay.
And then, never mind, that's capital. Yeah, that's capital, never mind. So the new total for general government would be 1,832,178.85.
If we went off whose budget?
That is inclusive of the 75,000 in contingency, the settlement obligations, and the addition that I made as of today of vacation and sick payout, reflective of
So the
new information.
vacation and sick payout, is that number different than what we have?
Yep, so that number is 169,840.92.
And what's the difference in the capital transfer? Oh, we're not talking about that now.
Correct.
So the new total with the revised sick is what, can you say it again?
Yep, $1,832,178.85.
And what is it if we didn't do the 75,000?
1,757,178.85. Just as a reminder that we put that in on the opposite side, on the revenue side as well, so it doesn't levy the taxpayers at all. That's what.
The contingency?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not, it's, the title of it is twofold. It's contingency and fund balance. Its original intent was fund balance, but we changed it to contingency, so we put 75 on the expense side and 75 on the revenue side, so it doesn't levy. It's for any unforeseen expenses, which we've had a couple this year.
So any of those unforeseen that we had, did we increase any of those line expenses because of historical numbers?
Most of them were like Yeah, then most of them were like professional services that we needed for some of the projects that we've been doing around town. And yeah, they should be reflective of the professional service that we need within that department. Where they should have been coded.
Anyone want to make a motion?
Well, just before we do it, just a quick question to the administrator. That number that Tony just gave, that's the number, that works, that figures in what you wanted, your intentions?
On the contingency? Yeah, we're still nailing that down. We've had a proposal from one firm, and then we've got next week?
Yeah, next
We have next week with the second provider. We're probably looking, when you put in place a new system, it's not just the annual fee associated with that. There's also a one-time fee to ramp the system up. I think we're talking around $64,000 in the budgeting grant side, and the balance, which would be $15,000, would be for the workforce study. We're hoping to get that number down on the software side, but we need to talk to the other firm first. So we do have some numbers that we can base this off of.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is a contingency line, so it sounds like the money's already getting geared for something. So a lot of the expenses that we recommended not funding were because they weren't, like, for capital, they weren't shovel ready or, other things. So to say we're gonna call it a contingency fund, but we're already figured out a way to spend it, that's not really clear to us, because we didn't talk about budgeting software for this line. So my preference would be that once that contract's ready, that the council approves it through the normal, process, not, pre-funding a blank check for it.
Mhm.
That was kind of our approach for a few different things this year. So that line, to me, doesn't say budgeting software agreement.
Right.
First of all,
It's not being, it's first of all not being levied, and it's an indication of the desire to spend the money that still has to go through the town council for approval. We still have to present to the town council what we want to do. We're trying to respond to the constant requests we have from the council to enhance certain functions. This is part of that. We've done some preliminary groundwork on this, but we would have to present those to the council, let them see the options and make a decision. But I disagree with that assessment.
So why does it need to show up in the budget?
Because it's an intention to spend money, just like Scouters Hall is an intention to spend money. It's the council saying that we intend to spend this money.
But if the council decides not to approve that or doesn't want the software, then that 75,000 can be moved around somewhere else.
No, it won't be moved around anywhere else. No, it won't.
So.
Wait, point of order, point of order.
One second. So why wouldn't we put it like in finance or administration or something?
We could. We've had a contingency account. That's why we just put it there. You can put it anywhere you want, but the thought that just if we don't use it, the council is going to move it somewhere else is.
Yeah, we can't do
we
that. But
can't do that.
I think the intention more is, sorry to interrupt, the intention more is we're still very fresh in the process of getting quotes for this, for budget software, the grant software, and the compensation study. So we don't really have an exact figure on what that might look like. As we go through the year, if we don't have more emergency related items that would hit that contingency line, this is where we could do our other projects. Like other towns like Smithfield, let's just say, they do something similar where they'll go through most of the fiscal year, they'll do all the legwork to figure out, all right, well, if we have money left over on this line item, we'll use that money that wasn't needed for emergency purposes. And that's what we're hoping. Near the end of the fiscal year, if we haven't needed this contingency line for emergency items, we'll use it towards some type of software that could better the administration.
And the administration's not going to spend $75,000, which come without coming back to the council. It's a
No,
contingency account of
not
which we
saying-
have to
not
present
saying you
something to
would, I'm just
council.
like, when did we start vetting this out? Like,
Like a couple weeks ago, like,
Okay.
yeah, this is
Whoa,
really-
we've been talking about this issue for over a year.
the software itself, I remember, this is going back to, I think, even when the prior TA, we haven't gotten hard numbers or quotes until recently, because we haven't had enough traction for it, or any funding for it.
May I make a suggestion? My suggestion would be to go with the administrator's recommendation. We're gonna probably have to, we may have to go back look at a couple of things, and maybe if we are forced to go back and look at a couple of things, this can be one of the things that we look at. But until then, we just go with the administrator's recommendation.
Just to make my point clear, so if the council wants to approve the budgeting software, would be your prerogative to do that. So we're just saying if we're pre-funding this kind of blank line item, we just heard it might go through, it might not, it might be used for emergencies, it might not. So just, it's nothing against new software, it's just let's make it clear that that's what the money's going to be used for instead of just funding.
thank you. All right, anyone have any more questions on general government? Anyone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion if Tony, I don't know which pair of glasses, what's that number again?
It is 1,832,178.85.
I'll make a motion to approve $1,832,178.85.
That's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Biragad.
Yes.
Mr. Christopherow.
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara.
Yes.
Mr. Punchak.
Yes.
Ms. House.
No. School, is this because the state aid's been updated?
Yeah, it's reflective of the changes that we've received.
Okay. So the town council, which is actually the budget committee with the updated state aid number, is, for the school, is $32,488,726. Anyone have any questions?
Just the state aid school line item with that disparity between the department request, well, there's a reduction of 189,000 versus the reduction of 301,000, that's under the town council
For which line?
line item, the state aid school. Like,
Yeah.
how is that?
That's just what we see from the state, when the state will send out, provide numbers as the process goes along on approvals for what's gonna be given to all the municipalities. And as we're going through our process at the same time, I try to provide whatever number that is out there as most updated as possible.
Okay, so the 301.
That's enacted, already enacted. That's
Okay.
real. That's
Okay.
what we're getting.
So the 189 is not up to date.
No, so that's the department request, so that's what comes out in January.
Mhm.
Then there's a March update, and then there's an enacted. So the 301 is what they enacted last week.
Okay, gotcha.
May I make a request? I'd like to see Jean Mayo from the school committee would like to say a few words.
Thank you very much, and I apologize because I did not realize that tonight is not a public hearing. We, or the school department, had thought that you were asking us questions that you might have had last week, as opposed to our making a presentation or a plea, depending on how you look at it. I actually had you call the town hall last week for clarification, and whether it was a misunderstanding or miscommunication, have you realized we would have had our entire administrative staff here on this? So I thank you for allowing me to speak. Oh, thank you. Is that better? Okay. So, and thinking this was a public hearing, my granddaughter was here earlier to make a brief statement about how well prepared she was for college compared to her classmates, and I just want to briefly paraphrase it. Her name is Maddie McNeil. She's a 2025 graduate of North Smithfield High School, and she's currently enrolled in the nursing program at Wheaton College. And she says, after completing my first year of college, I truly had a much stronger appreciation of how prepared I was for college life after leaving the North Smithfield school system. I saw myself thriving academically with a strong work ethic and ability to communicate effectively with professors and students with more confidence than most of my peers. The experiences and opportunities that North Smithfield provided me have been essential. We have programs that rival most private schools, and all these things require appropriate funding. Excuse me. Please give our school system the proper funding to maintain its excellence. It is beyond important. And I had hoped that the message that you received from her would help you to realize the quality of our school system and the excellence of the education that we offer here. And hopefully you have had a chance to read the information that was sent out to the community called Celebrating Our Shared Successes from This Past School Year, which highlights the opportunities afforded our students and the achievements and accomplishments gained as a result. It is a roadmap for why people move to North Smithfield and why we are one of the top school systems in the state. That said, on behalf of the school committee and the administration, we want to thank you for your support and willingness to increase the school department's local appropriation by 0.79%. But that's going to be very difficult for us to live with. As you know, last year we were very fortunate to receive a windfall in state aid, which allowed us to request a 0% increase in local appropriation, and a portion of that was used to support ongoing operations with no increase in local funding. This year, however, as you just heard, state aid has declined by more than $300,000, while we experience contractual obligations and rising operational costs. The administration has worked really hard to identify savings and reductions from our initial request. Health and dental insurance has increased, but that has been offset by savings from ride transportation, workers' comp, property, and liability costs for a net savings of about $56,000. In addition, we are prepared, but not convinced that it's in the best interest of our students, but we are prepared to make significant staffing reductions of over $380,000. We recognize that this is a challenging budget year for you, and as a result, we are no longer requesting the 3.49% increase from our town, which was in our initial budget. But it's a challenging budget year for us as well, and we have to continue to provide the excellent education that our students deserve and our community expects. There is a difference between being fiscally conservative, which means spending little to nothing, and being fiscally responsible, which is spending money wisely. And we spend our money wisely, as shown by the fact that we spend over $4,000 less than the per pupil state average while providing a quality and exceptional education. So we have a proposal. We respectfully request that the council transfer the proposed $200,000 capital allocation to the school department's operating budget and provide an additional $100,000 in local funding, which would result in a local appropriation increase of $475,000 as opposed to the original $772,000. That's a 2.15% increase as opposed to a 3.49% increase. Under this proposal, we would absorb more than $386,000 in programmatic reductions, in addition to loss of state aid and other budget pressures. Even with all this, our overall budget increase would only be 0.69% over last year's budget. We believe that this is a reasonable compromise, a middle ground that acknowledges your fiscal challenges while minimizing the impact on our students and preserving our core educational services, which bring pride and recognition to our community. So we hope you will consider this and understand our needs, and I thank you for listening to me a week later. Do you have any questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
So, just so I understand, so you're saying that instead of the 750,000, that you're only going to request 100,000?
Well,
If we transfer the 200?
if you transfer the 200.
initial request was for 3.49, am I loud enough?
Yeah.
Yes.
3.49, which was 772. So what we're asking for is you allocated 175 plus the 200, so 375, although that 200 is in capital. So we're asking that you move that 200 to the local appropriation and add an additional 100 on top of that, so that's 475 or 2.14% in local. So an additional 100 from what you're seeing, but you have to move the capital.
But if we move the capital to the town appropriation, then we are required year over year. Okay, so next year, we'll have to match what we move from capital into town appropriation.
And just to remember, going into next year, we might see an additional $600,000 or $700,000 in that state aid reduction. Because the first year, we get that offset from the windfall, the second year, it's eliminated. So keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying it won't even matter that it would go to the
No, that's what I'm
maintenance of
basically
effort?
saying,
Right.
you have to offset that reduction anyway.
So in the event that we were to, and thank you, Jean.
Yep, you're
No,
welcome.
you can stay there, but I just want to thank you for your time and for your granddaughter's time.
Well, you're welcome.
In the event that we were to theoretically approve the 175 over the 4 something that you're requesting now, what would the school be going without?
Programs.
I know there would be a reduction in programs, you said.
Absolutely, and personnel.
Personnel.
Personnel and programs. Mhm.
Okay.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Can I ask a question about personnel?
Mhm.
So obviously, we have teachers. Teachers retire. How many teachers have retired with the school year?
So we have 4 upcoming retirements, but we budgeted a significant turnover, almost 300,000. So I need some of that to offset that turnover.
So when we hire new teachers, do they come in at the same rate that the tenured teacher?
It depends. Often, like your specialties, your special eds, your secondaries, your MLLs, your languages. Unfortunately, this year we have a special ed and language and guidance. So those are all coming in at the same.
At the same rate as the tenured teachers that are now retiring?
They're tenured in other districts, so when they get to us, they're still top staff.
Math,
Gotcha.
science, physics, specialist,
We try.
we try.
Okay, so I'm just saying, so you take that into consideration?
Yes, we
Okay.
budget turnover.
Okay, you budget turnover.
300,000 this year.
Okay,
So like, we will have staff that resigns, I mean, we have a lot of staff, right? So we have over 300
Right.
staff. So people are gonna turn over, but it won't be just those 4 retirements.
Right.
Those are gonna be top for top.
okay,
you know?
okay.
We try very hard. When a senior tenured teacher leaves, to replace that person with a step 1.
Okay,
Significant, so we
It
do
is.
try.
okay. No, just for my own knowledge, thank you.
And if I just may say that education is personnel intensive, and our employees are our greatest resource to achieve our goals.
Thank you.
And Mrs. Mayor, we've been together through Hallowell, all the way through. Both my daughter and her brother went through North Smithfield, and Kate's children now, it's the same way. I can tell you, the children went through some of the worst times since the virus, not going back and forth. The world was mixed up. You absolutely gave those children, including my not-so-angels grandsons, stability. Stability, kindness. The parents, if they were having tough times both sides, they met and they spoke. And you know I was happy because I did not step into that room. I felt they were safe. And my daughter, who I'm very proud to say graduated and was chosen one of the top social worker, working with the elderly in the state of Rhode Island a few years ago. So we have to stretch things. You know, don't water the grass, forget the seeds, but give the seeds of knowledge to our students. You can't, and I'm tight. It's not as if I'm just throwing money at the field, you throw it away. But there are times when you have to take the green out and you have to spend it. And now's the time. And Jean, you know, if I think you thought you were wrong, I'd always be kind to you. God. Couldn't be any other way, since you let me have your son, Michael, in my class. So again, I thank you, and I hope those listening will please support your school department.
Well,
it's the beginning of their life.
Well, I appreciate your listening and thinking about our needs. Thank you.
May I ask a question? Getting back to what Rebecca was getting at, give us the worst case scenario. If suppose we said, and we just stuck to our guns on our proposal, walk us through that. Like, how does this, what happens? How many, who gets laid off? Like, what, you must have given this some thought. Like, where's this go?
Yeah, so to get down to this number that we're proposing, we're eliminating a elementary reading specialist, we wanted to add a third MLL teacher because we're getting a lot of students coming in who they don't speak English. So we're looking to add a third teacher. Going to hold off on that. We have a number of part-time literacy aides for the first grade. That's a group that we were eliminating. Again, this is to get down to the 2.15%. Beyond that, if you were to continue on with the recommended 47, we're looking at a elementary guidance position. We may cut into there's a grade level that we may jack up the class sizes to the maximum, which would be pretty awful.
Okay, why does an elementary school need a guidance counselor?
What's that?
Why does an elementary school need a guidance counselor?
No.
What am I missing?
There's a lot of it.
They're not doing the college transcripts as you're probably thinking about with a.
Well, not so much college, but, career.
No, they're deeply involved in the education and social well-being of the students. So, yes, there's, which is one of the reasons why we talked about, okay, if we had to keep cutting, that would be the position. They used to be very common, but every district hanging on to hard times, and if it's not required in the basic education plan, it's one of the things to go. Math coordinators, reading coaches, math coaches, we're not touching those, all right, except for one reading specialist. But yes, that is further on down the line, that is the worst case scenario.
It just seems that unfortunate that when we talk about cutting people, we're cutting the low-hanging fruit. We're cutting the people that are just starting their lives, just starting a career, instead of, the big numbers up top. Like a dean or something. I'm not saying we should, but I'm just saying that we should be looking at everything, not just all these, these people coming in and starting their lives,
No, I agree. But, yes. Would you like to talk about the deans, or?
If you could tell me what a dean does.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see this, but our superintendent sent a document that he shared with the budget committee. He sent it to the budget committee when there started to be concerns about the deans. And this is what he said. Eliminating dean positions would not result in a cost savings. Our current staffing model was intentionally designed to achieve fiscal efficiency by consolidating critical administrative and support functions into the dean role. To fund these roles, we made strategic reductions in other areas, such as the CTE coordinator and special education team chair positions. By redistributing these specific responsibilities to our deans and assistant principals, we effectively streamlined our organizational chart. If we were to eliminate the dean positions, we would be forced to rehire for those specialized roles to ensure our educational programs remain compliant and effective. This would not only negate any savings, but would likely increase long-term expenditures due to the administrative overhead of hiring multiple personnel to cover duties that are currently managed by a centralized team. Beyond their operational and administrative functions, deans provide a critical layer of mental health support and intervention services. This proactive approach to student well-being is vital for maintaining a healthy school climate and preventing more costly, intensive interventions. And I hope that you realize that right now we are dealing with an increase in mental health issues all across the board. So the two things to take away from what I just read to you are that there is no additional cost, and it's critical to the mental health and support and intervention of our students.
Jean, how did you know I was going to say something about the deans and you had all that information?
I knew it was going to be a question.
That's the same with the elementary guidance position. It is switched into that mental health, family support role.
Can I make an unorthodox suggestion? Why don't we, can we work this backwards? Can we, with the schools, instead of going over and throwing a number down, can we go back to the drawing board, see where we are with our levy, and then get to the end again and say, oh, look, now we can do, now we know how much we can afford to either give them or not give them. Can't we do that?
You want your levy right now?
Yeah.
Well, it's not that your capital.
Yeah. It's the capital issues yet, and those are big items.
So can I just ask a question? So, I don't know how many years you'd have, but say in the last 3 years, can you just tell me what kind of surpluses you've had? Because it seems like every budget year we get the request for more, but then there ends up being a surplus, so I'm just wondering.
We usually have about maybe between 100 and 300,000.
Every year?
On $33 million,
On
that's all
33
staff,
million.
80
Okay.
something.
Okay, but every year, so 100 to 300,000, okay.
Which then,
Absolutely, because we're not gonna run a deficit.
Okay.
We'll do our best to
we're not
spend
gonna
money
run a
the right way.
deficit, and then that money goes into fund balance.
Okay, thank you.
You wanna do capital or?
I don't know, does that sound like a good idea? That we go through it and then come back and then we'll know what kind of position we're in financially to either maybe go all the way what they want or meet them halfway or whatever.
Oh, so we want to hold on improving the school budget until we have an understanding of
I'm just
capital?
throwing it out there, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to that. I just.
What is
need
the
to-
school number with their latest proposal? Are you able to
475?
do that? What is it?
475, right?
Yeah, it would go up to 475. It would increase it, so,
Increase from last year? 475?
are you asking for,
Take out that capital.
yeah, so you're asking for the percentage or the dollar amount?
Dollar amount. So right now I'm looking at a 32,488,000 on the, or their number 33,197.
So we would be adding in, right? So we'd be adding in 100,000 plus the 200. And then putting that to 0. Right?
Yeah, so we're just adding on another
And then-
100,000, so 32.5.
So over here, I don't know, you probably can't see that. So it would bring it to 22,606,491 for an increase of 475, and like Alicia said, 2.15%.
So 100,000 of the original.
100, yeah, in total, it's 100,000 of the original. What?
Yeah.
Can't be 22 million, yeah.
That's local.
Oh, I I was looking for bottom
Are
line.
you looking for a total, sorry?
Yeah, I want
Yeah,
bottom line.
30, yeah, so total for the school department is 32,588,726.
But again, I think we just need to keep in mind that if we move the capital, we're required to pay, include that in operating costs moving forward.
I have to say, this has pretty much been the solution for, I think, the last 5 years we've done this.
Mhm.
And that capital has been reduced operational.
Mhm. Okay. Are we moving on to capital right now? Can we take a recess just so? I can- Yeah, that's fine, but I just need to use the restroom quick. Quick recess.
All right, we're going to come back and we're going to go through the capital budgets for the different departments.
Before we do that,
Sure.
can I make a motion to extend?
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to extend the meeting until 10:30.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Biragad.
Yes.
Mr. Christopherow.
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara.
Yes.
Mr. Punchak.
Yes.
Ms. Alves.
Yes. Okay. So the first one is town clerk for a copy machine for $10,000.
Our copy machine at the moment is well over 10 years old.
Is what, I'm sorry?
Well over 10 years old, and it's in need of a replacement. It's making
So
noises.
do we lease these? What do we do?
So I had looked into, I had contacted Konica and another company for leasing, and surprisingly, it was more expensive to lease the copy machines. And that's, regardless of which way you do it, you still get the maintenance contract with it that's included. And we still usually, even when we purchase them outright, we still have some type of contract with them to service it and, yeah, the ink and through Konica, usually. We get a lot of stuff cheap through Konica. But, yeah, surprisingly, and I didn't think that was, I thought it would have been cheaper to lease, but apparently it's not.
So how many do we have in the town building? We have finance, town clerk, and
4.
you have 4 machines in there? Wow, okay.
I think my question, moving through all of our capital requests, is going to be, is this a need or a want? So it sounds like it's a need. I'm sure everybody's gonna say need.
I mean, I'm sure yours
But-
probably gets used the most, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And we've already approved it, so we don't have to make adjustments to the,
So we're all set with that, that.
It's
total
already
for
in the department, yeah.
All right, perfect. All right, DPW.
so this is highway? Highway?
Yeah, highway, so total of, what was that, a total, okay.
See, this is what's kind of confusing, right? Because we approved, the town council, we approved 1.6 million. The department request was 2.16. So what did we approve of the highway?
So you're gonna wanna look at your, the expense
Detail.
detail.
Duh.
Yeah,
Thank
you wanna look at your expense detail, and that's what's been filtered out through the TA and through the budget committee. The capital sheet itself just shows you what they originally, and the department column shows what they originally requested, and what was approved through the planning board. But to get a better picture, you wanna look at, to get all the narratives, you wanna look at your expense detail sheet.
Okay, and then Tony, just one recommendation for next year. When you guys organize the capital itemized list, can you just put it in order of the departments in the spreadsheet, so we're not like
It's a big request.
flipping through a million? But if I'm not on the town council next year, I don't care.
Boy, just out for
Forget
yourself,
about
huh?
that.
Okay.
Under DPW, with and this is dangerous saying when I'm sitting next to the DPW director, but I've had conversations with the DPW director. The $50,000 for heavy equipment was not in my budget. I also, on the drainage repairs, I was effectively recommending 150, not the 300,000. I know we have like 3 culverts that DPW's identified as concerning, but one in particular that's very concerning, and I was recommending that get done under this budget year, but not the others. If there is a major issue all of a sudden, such as popped up under Woonsocket Hill Road, then we can address it, through the reserves. But, so I made an adjustment on that as well.
So, sorry, so the drainage, is that because you're having that other one done in this budget
Oh, that's,
season?
yeah. The one that's being done right now was not even part of these three. This was
Oh.
completely unanticipated on Woonsocket Hill Road. These other three are ones that DPW has identified as concerning, but one in particular is very concerning. Right?
The three the administrator speaking about is we have one on Pound Hill Road. We're already probably 90% into the permitting process with DEM, as we are with the Old Sales Hill Road. The most important one right now is Pound Hill Road, and that's estimated at $150,000 to $175,000. Old Sales Hill Road is a small road, but there's houses that go into a cul-de-sac there, so if something happened, like we had back in 2015 where 2 houses were trapped, that'd be a situation that we had to address. So the drainage issues, 300,000 we could use. We're gonna put off one, and we've got another one that we just found out about today, so that's a totally different thing. The Woonsocket Hill Road situation, that's gonna be coming out of surplus, or whatever they call restricted or unrestricted, whatever it is. It is what it is. That's gonna be an estimated number of $300,000 to $350,000. I will say, though, I have some reserve money under heavy equipment. I requested 100,000. Well, we're looking at getting a hot box and some other things. If you want to take that 50,000 out, I have a surplus of 123,000 that I can use for that stuff. So you can, if you want to take that 50,000, I can live with that this year. Everything else, though, I really could use. The trucks, this past winter really killed us.
All right, so I know every year the roads is a big topic of concern. So the department's asking for 1.5, and then the administrator and budget committee did 1 million.
So, I don't think I have to tell anybody that the conditions of the roads in this town are horrible. 1.5 was going to hopefully get me into the area of 6 roads to be done, reclaimed and paved. That's not counting drainage work. That's under the operational budget. We got the reports back from our engineering firm to do 2 major roads and 2 smaller roads, and that came in at $1.1 million. So when people sit there and they look at the reports that I've given the administrator on probably the top 25 to 30 roads in town that desperately need to be paved or redone, $1 million is getting me 4. Actually 2.5 with the 2 small streets. Right now is not the greatest time. We're going out to bid next month. The price, as we all know, the price of asphalt and oil is sky high, so we may be looking at possibly doing it towards the fall or into the next year, depending if the prices go down, which we don't know yet. But that's what I'm dealing with. Everybody calls and says they want their roads done. I honestly think that somewhere down the road, I'm gonna have a conversation with the administrator, and I think we're gonna have to go back to 2018 and 19 when we did a bond for $2.5 million. We need to address this, not short term, $1 million here, $1 million there. $1 million doesn't get you anything. So we're probably gonna have to float a bond for $5 million or $7 million and back into it somehow. It is what it is. Without the infrastructure, people aren't going to school if the roads start collapsing. And people aren't going to work. So you gotta start addressing your infrastructure. And that's so I put in for 1.5. They want it down to 1 million. All I'm getting is 4 roads done this year, that's it.
Could I just make a quick comment on that? So I'm not disagreeing about the roads or anything. So it was part of my slides that we presented at the 2 meetings ago. So I think, what was the budget last year? Was it 900,000? Yeah, so it wouldn't just be increasing 100,000. There's also the split from operational to capital. So the $1 million is the capital, like road resurfacing portion. And then I think in the operation, you guys approved 175 for crack sealing. So it's really going from 900 to almost 1.2, you know, so just making that point. So
Thank you.
compared to last year.
So the crack sealing and the patching comes out of the 900,000. let's put the pieces of the puzzle together.
Yep.
That's why the crack sealing and the patching is not part of the road reconstruction.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
So don't try to say that the 175,000 is a bonus towards my 1 million that you cut me to.
No, 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 no.
No, I just wanted
No,
to
no,
make
so
sure you
one-
clarified on that.
So 175,000 is in the operational. And
Thank God.
Right? Yep. And then, so we recommended 1 million in capital, right?
From my
So-
1.5.
From your 1.5, yes. So the total, so from, I'm saying last year, the two added together was 900. The two added together this year is 1,175,000.
The 175 was part of the 900
Last year.
last year.
Yeah, so I'm saying we're going from 900 to 1.175.
Thank you.
Is that fair?
Okay.
I would like to say that we're also saving $93,000 in streetlight costs.
Yes.
You had to get that.
I had to get it in. I had to get it in there.
I sharpened my pencil way on that.
93. And why is that, now that she brought it up?
Cash, cash?
Actually, that number there is for the contractual amounts that we pay monthly. We're still working off the grants from the past, when they converted everything to LEDs. So if we need new street lights and poles and stuff like that, we're still working off those savings from that.
Oh, nice, okay. So, if we were to accept the town administrator's drainage budget of 150, that would give us 150 to then put towards road repair. Get us closer to the 1.5. Our roads, these roads, some of these are. The only road I ask that we don't do is West Reservoir Road, because I use the bumpiness of that road to get my kid to sleep.
Okay.
Okay, so just keep that one on for
I'm
us.
sure that everyone's gonna be happy about that.
There's like 2 people that live on that road, so. Okay, but yeah, I think we do need to look at, to increase road repair. It's, to Ray's point, that's what we hear the most about, right? Speeding and road repair.
Don't
There you
fix
go.
the roads, they're not gonna wanna
Oh,
speed.
that's actually a good point. If we keep the roads bad, nobody's gonna wanna speed on them.
They do on Block Island.
They won't be able to get to school, we won't have to give them the budget they're looking for. Perfect, it's a win-win.
I like
School,
this.
no
Don't fix the
work, nothing. Just have to walk everywhere.
Right?
Okay, so we'll reduce the heavy equipment to 50K, which we've already approved, right? That was already what we approved in
Yeah.
our, we're at 65 for pickups with the plow. We'll reduce drainage repair to 150. I don't want to speak for everybody, these are just my suggestions.
So can this drainage be reduced to 150, or does it have to stay at 300?
You can reduce it to the 150, because if something happens,
gonna fix it
in this
anyway.
short time, it's gonna get fixed anyway.
I mean, it has to, it's an emergency, right? Okay.
So just as a reminder, the way I have it built in right now is 150 of that is levied, and the other 150 is on the revenue side to be used from fund balance. So you get, I mean, I can change it to whatever you guys want it to be, but that's the way it is. That's the way it's built right now, that 300,000. That's what the budget committee had suggested.
Okay. So 150 of the 300 is,
Is unlevied, it's
okay.
on the revenue side, correct?
so us really making that change isn't gonna matter very much.
Me dropping it to 150 would
It's not
do
gonna
nothing
do
for the levy,
anything, right?
Right.
because I would have to delete it on the revenue
Okay.
side, yeah. I did already take out the 50 for the heavy equipment, just in case,
Okay.
so.
Can we come back to road repair? Can we look at where we can cut
Yeah.
maybe in some other areas
Yeah.
and come back to
Come
road
back.
repair?
I just want to be clear on what the consensus from the council is on this thing. The administrator's budget is 150 for the drainage. No money to be taken out of unrestricted fund balance, just 150. That was a recommendation of the budget committee to do, I think, 2 of the culverts. Or maybe, was it 2? Yeah, 2. So there was a difference. They were budgeting 2, 1 to be funded out of unrestricted fund balance. I was just doing 1 at 150 straight out of the budget, not out of the fund balance.
Okay, let's come back to that.
Yeah. Parks, do you want to go to Parks and Rec? This is a big one.
key element on the Parks and Rec is scouters. Budget committee's having it taken out, with the idea that once you have a project, come back in and ask the council. We have a project. We have actually going out for environmental review right now with $4 million waiting to be pulled down on. So the $500,000 on the administrator's budget, that was to be funded out of, because it's a project, was to be funded out of the unrestricted fund balance. That was not being levied. But I wanted in the budget to have to come back to the council with a budget amendment and everything on a project that we already are 100% behind. To me, seems to be a lot of extra layers that we have to go through to get this thing done, one. And two, a lot of the money that we're chasing has match requirements. Being able to point to the budget with the match requirement in the budget allows me to answer that question, check that box with our funding sources. And we've got over $3 million currently out there right now with grant requests that needs match.
So the $500,000 that you're proposing for Scouters Hall repairs and renovation would come from
Fund balance.
the fund balance?
Yeah, it's not being levied. That's correct.
Okay. And
But
you're
it's in the budget. That's the key point. We still, have to come back through the whole process, but it's in the budget. It's a statement, it's a policy that we're going to do this project.
Mhm.
Can I ask a question? We have, we voted to move the project over to Pacheco.
Correct.
So why would we spend any money out of our own money other than the bond money?
There was always the money that was in the Parks and Rec budget for Scouters. We just were, because there's not just Scouters Hall, but there's a lot of other things around Scouters Hall that have to be addressed. Entrance road, all those kinds of things. So it's always been there, we just haven't been spending it, but now that we moved the project there, we need to spend it. Hopefully, when we go out to bid for the Scouters Hall renovation of $4 million, it's going to be very clear, that's our budget. So you have to develop it for the $4 million, but we have a lot of other costs that Scouters is going to require, and the Pacheco is going to require. Entrance road, storm drainage systems, lighting, landscaping, repaving parking areas, that's all got to also be addressed.
So you don't think that there's enough money in the $4 million to
No.
redo the building and then redo, no?
No, the building's going to take every bit of the $4 million.
Okay.
We're hoping that the Pacheco grant that we got, coupled with the other grants that we have outstanding, we'll be able, because there's a lot of overlap in terms of the scope of each one of those grant requests. We did that by design, because it allows us to use one grant as a match for another grant, as long as we can't use federal money as a match for a federal grant. But we did that because we knew, aside from Scouters redevelopment, there are a lot of other access road infrastructure, paving, new parking lot to the left coming into the entrance road, lighting issues, they all have to be done. And they're not going to be included in the $4 million.
Okay.
That's why my planning director gets a little aggravated at me, but that's why we've thrown so many grants against the wall over the last 3 weeks, is to address those issues.
So now, the administrator budget only has 75,000 for the Pacheco Park, but we really need the 290, is that what you're saying?
75,000 would be the grant match, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Grant match, okay.
And the rest of that, whatever that would be channeled through the grant fund.
It would be what?
Channeled through the grant fund. So any grant monies is spent through the grant fund now.
Mike, from the budget committee perspective, can you just one more time explain why you didn't include those numbers?
So I think it was pretty straightforward. We just were thinking once the project was ready to be approved, that you guys would have your legislative approval, your authority to spend the funds. So really, to us, it was keeping the council in a little bit of control, because if you fund that line, then again, the money is there, like even if the project hasn't been approved. So it's, yes, there's a little bit more that you have to add another line item onto the agenda, but it's not that we were against the project by any means. It was just more of there's nothing there. I don't want to speak for the whole committee. It's getting a little late, but it was basically that funding it there, then the money could potentially be moved around, same as the other argument. So that's all at a high level.
The council's in complete control of that money. We can't spend it unless we come back to the council.
But if we don't move to approve the 500, which we
Yeah.
haven't, it wasn't included in our, in the town council budget. If you come to us in the next 4 months with Scouters Hall repair and renovation with the project,
Yeah.
at that point, we could approve it and just,
In the meantime, that 500 is out of the budget, and I can't dangle that to funding sources as match.
You also have to go through the process of a budget amendment, which
okay.
is not the most fun, but.
I don't want to interrupt on these financial matters, but I want the council to be a little sensitive to the fact that I don't think you, well, you may want to think before you move money that you're putting in from your fund balance over to the schools, which does two things, right? It's creating maintenance of effort, which means it's technically a structural deficit on your side. If you're going to move something from your budget that you're funding with the levy to the school, because you're going to have to fund them again next year. Because if you move one-time money, you're creating, now you got that money twice next year. You got the
Right.
money that you took out of your fund balance, plus you gave it to them, which means if you gave them 400,000, let's just assume you gave them 400,000 out of your fund balance, next year that's $800,000 of new levy.
Right.
So I just throw that out, unless you're gonna keep on dipping into your fund balance. I just, because of what you're doing, just my 2 cents.
Thank you.
I mean, we know that Scouters Hall, the repairs and renovation are going to happen. We just don't have a tangible plan in front of us. So I think, to Tony's point, do we want to have to go through the budget amendment process? And approving the $500,000, it does give the town administrator leverage for a grant match. I completely understand the budget committee's perspective, but with those 2 points in mind, are we going, if we don't approve it, are we going to prolong the process, potentially miss out on grants, or prolong the process and getting the budget approved for that project
Yeah,
in the
because
future?
when does the 4 million expire?
The 4 million does not expire until, I believe,
I think it's
2031.
Yeah.
Okay. I know, but it's just,
But with that being said, we're getting a lot of pressure from our delegation to spend that money.
I mean, we
'Cause-
should, we have it, right? But
Yeah, we should.
wanna
In
make
fact,
sure we have time.
once the environmental review goes out, which we have to do before we can pull federal money, once that's done, we can start pulling federal money, which means we're also now gearing up for the RFP for that project, and we'll come back to council before we release that RFP.
So my recommendation is to approve the 75,000 as the grant match, not the 290 from Parks and Rec, the 75 as the TA recommendation. And then for now, I guess the 500,000, and I keep saying we'll do it, and then we can come back to it. I feel like last year was much easier to just cut this out.
I know.
I mean, what does everybody else think?
Be nice to have a better understanding of what you're proposing, like Pacheco Park, $290,000. So on the backside, there's $28,000 worth of repairs to concession stand and bathrooms, field day repairs, lighting repairs, field D restoration. So, we're really looking at $325,000 or $328,000 at Pacheco Park, and we don't know, some of it from the backside, but nothing from the front side. What?
Doesn't include the entrance road to the park
So,
or the parking and all the repaving.
so we have a grant for that.
Hopefully, we have a grant for that. That's what we have hanging out there right now. The Pacheco grant that we got, the $500,000, is primarily for, which is money in the bank. It's the replacement of the play structure, putting in the walking path, and the balance of that funds would be used for paving / drainage, but it wouldn't be a lot of money. It's just, we're trying to carve together, the scope of what we're doing in that area is very clear. How we're trying to cobble together the money for that through various sources is what's a little bit more complicated. Until we start getting the grants awarded to us, we won't be able to go out to RFP on that and start getting more detail.
So these numbers here, are they assuming we receive the grants? Or is this saying, okay, we don't get the grants and we have to spend $790,000?
The funding that we had for, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ray, the 200 some odd $1,000 was money that was already earmarked. We actually put additional money together, combined it. That was earmarked for Pacheco. It's been in the budget for a while.
From the sale of the house and so on.
Yeah.
So that's for the entrance. Will that work? This, Council, the stuff on the back there, that's kind of a wish list stuff from the Woodley, that's.
No, I get it, but I'm just,
Those aren't the big ticket items that we're talking about.
So basically, this Little League stuff, the only thing that, are we saying that really needs to be done is Field A, the lights? All, the rest of it isn't even on here, on the budget.
Right, the only thing that we're recommending is the field lights on the 72.
Did we already prove that?
We'd have to go back and revise it, because we're gonna probably take off the rest of it. So which field is A?
It's the Major League field, the first one, right by the basketball and volleyball courts. You have A, B, C, and D, so that's the first one. I think those lights, that's the first light to go out in 30 years. I know, so we gotta replace it.
we have the solar, the streetlight people. Is that part of the contract?
Where are these Little League items on our expenditure
It's
detail?
only right here, so the only thing on here is the 7250.
Yeah, it's-
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
So we take all the others off.
Right, they're on the capital sheet itself, but not
Oh, gotcha.
in department because they're not a department head. The department head,
Just the 7250.
correct. The department head approved that to be in his request.
And the lighting repairs, is that like a need? Like, do those have to be repaired?
That
Well,
one there, would-
I'm asking because if we're going to do an overhaul of the whole entire area, is that something that could wait until the overhaul, or is it an immediate need?
no, that request, that light being out on that field is an issue under the National Little League.
Okay.
Rules, so.
Okay.
So we just figure if that one just went out in 30 years, the other 5 or 6 are gonna go out, so.
Okay.
And the envision improvements for Pacheco Park is not to replace any of those existing lights.
Okay.
The lighting was really entrance lighting around the road,
Okay.
safety lighting, not field lighting.
Okay.
And that's why this other request for 28,000 has nothing to do with any of these
Yeah,
renovations. That's
it's
all-
not even on your
That's
budget.
all stuff that just gets filled in.
Okay.
All right, so for Parks and Rec, it's just it's the Pacheco Park, the Scouters Hall, and the Field A lights. Right?
Correct, those three items.
We have 5 minutes. We want to try to do some low-hanging fruit, like EMA, maybe.
Yeah. What'd you say? No.
Okay, but okay, so what are we gonna do about Parks and Rec right now? We can't just keep,
It's 290 though. Oof.
I think, I'll say it, but I think that maybe we can do something with that 500, maybe whittle that down a little bit.
Just remember, that the 500,000 for Pacheco or Scouters is not coming, it's not a levy. It's out of the fund balance.
I understand.
It has no impact on the tax rate. So we can do that, but it's not going to get us to, the issue of
Right.
trying to back this into the school department. That's all I'm trying to say.
All right, so if we approve the 500, then that doesn't affect the budget at all. So really, we're looking at the 75,000 and the 7,250, basically. Okay, that's pretty easy.
okay.
It's still though, it's still the people's money.
But it's already in the fund balance. It's money we're not, they've already been taxed on and we haven't used it. So it's there. And at least it's being used to, we're talking about infrastructure. At least we're using it for.
Okay.
Anyone want to make a motion?
I think if we allocate the $500,000 now, I mean, obviously, we've already made the commitment by moving the 4 million to Scouters. If we approve the $500,000 now, and we can start acting on that, that shows our commitment to Pacheco and Scouters. We gotta do something with that area. We have to start working on that, like, now.
We're trying to deliver something that the council wants, and that's why it's in our budget. It's a big project where now that we've been able to back off and refocus on Scouters, now the project can move quick.
Okay. So, I get it, John, but I think that we really need to make a commitment to Scouters and Pacheco. Like, we need to start moving on this. So.
And it's not part of the budget.
Right, and it's not part of it won't impact the levy. So we're going to do 75,000 for Pacheco Park, 500,000 for Scouters, and the 7,250 for the field light.
Field day.
Field day, yes. So what does that factor out to be, Tony?
$933,371.68.
Okay. Now, with that being said too, if we find that we need to come back and shave down that 500 to maybe 3.
It doesn't have.
I know.
That's not a
Yeah,
budget.
you're right, I know. Okay.
All right, so what's the new total?
Maybe 1 second, I just need to make sure I have all.
Okay.
So David,
Yes,
do we
I'm
have
sorry.
to rescind our motion for a highway, or we're just gonna do an amended motion?
I'd rather have you rescind it
Rescind?
and make it clean, if you don't mind, Madam President.
Okay, that's fine.
We have work tomorrow to clean things up, right?
Yep,
And, so let's take our time.
absolutely.
So we're gonna rescind the motion tonight?
Yeah, and then we'll
Okay.
make this one, and then we'll start fresh tomorrow.
Okay. Does the person who made the motion have to rescind?
No, anyone?
Just
can-
someone, just someone positive, you all voted in favor, somebody in favor has to make.
Okay.
Okay.
What's going on?
All right, so the new department total is $933,371.68.
So that includes the 500,000 though, right? So
And-
does something have to be said in the motion that the 500,000 is part of general fund and not budget? Do we have to say something to that effect in the motion?
Because it's coming out of fund balance?
Yeah.
You haven't done, it hasn't been done before. I mean, the council certainly could, but hasn't
So we
been
could
done
say
prior.
this is the new total, but with 500,000 coming out of fund balance.
Correct.
Do you
It
want
would- it would
us?
be, the auditors would like that, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think you should be recognizing that.
Yeah, because we want to make sure it's done that way,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Now, when we rescind the previous motion, do we have to note what the budget was, the number was, or can we just rescind the previous motion for
There is
approving
this
parks
number
and?
here.
Oh, so we're going to rescind the previous motion to approve the budget for Parks and Rec, is that Parks and Rec? Yeah, in the amount of $358,371.68. And I will make a motion. What?
We gotta,
Rescind. Oh, we have to second. I made motion. We need a
Second.
second, and now roll call.
Okay, yes,
Roll call, please.
Yep, Mr. Biragad.
Yes.
Mr. Christopherow.
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara.
Yes.
Mr. Punchak.
Yes.
Ms. House.
Parks and Recreation budget is back on your, back on.
Okay, so now we're gonna make a motion for that total, and maybe mention that's the actual budget. That's like the total, but then 500,000 is
Okay.
coming out of general fund, you know what I mean?
Okay, so I will make a motion to approve the Parks and Rec budget in the amount of $933,371.68, and note that $500,000 of that total will be funded by the general fund. Fund balance, fund balance. Thank you.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Biragad.
Yes.
Mr. Christopherow.
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara.
Yes.
Mr. Punchak.
Yes.
Ms. House.
Yes. All right. 2 minutes late.
2 minutes late. Are we extending? Are we adjourning?
No, let's- yeah.
Actually take action on the two matters that the director had, actually vote on the director's suggestions to amend his budget to remove the 50 and to remove.
No, we said we were gonna go back to that one,
Okay.
so we couldn't make a decision on it.
No, I just wanted to make sure, I'm just trying to keep track of where you are, so.
Okay. So, make a motion to adjourn for tonight.
Yeah, I think it would be helpful to adjourn, just so I can now look at these and say, okay.
All right,
Motion to adjourn.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye.